All right. Welcome back to the Barren Lands, episode 2. I hope that intro played smoothly enough. It looked a little rough because my internet's going a little slow right now, but I think it went just fine. Welcome everyone back to session number 2. Will someone drop me a comment and make sure that you can hear me okay, hear my mic all right, just to make sure, double sure. With that being said, I want to welcome all the players. Want to thank you for coming back for session 2. In the end of session 1, all of these players found that they had been mysteriously teleported, seemingly for no there's no explainable reason yet why they were teleported. It's still a bit of a mystery. They're teleported from their own various homeworld states and have arrived at a seemingly unknown location somewhere in the Arctic wilderness. They found a cabin with a corpse in it and have basically been working on setting up a camp and figuring out what the heck is going on. Found some clues. Did get attacked by wolves, but were able to fend them off. And meanwhile, Faylene, through a bit of magic, realized that there is a pretty serious blizzard incoming. And that is where we have left it since episode 1. I want to give a big shout out to all the players who make this game possible. I want to give a big shout out to the Discord community. If you want to join our Discord, link is in the description. If you would like to support this channel, support the platform, join our Ko-Fi membership, links in the description. Also want to give a big shout out to our Ko-Fi members, including our first gold member, Craig, for helping to support the platform. And with that being said, we are ready to roll. And we're going to start it off with a percentile roll. I'd like all the players to roll a percentile. Straight percentile. Who was a 90?
19, did you say?
19.
I don't know. I kind of read mine as 100.
17.
17. Okay.
60.
We got a 60. I think
mine
it
was
looks
71.
like, I think 90 was the highest, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Vincent, was yours?
That would be me.
All right. So you are going to be the one who describes what you're going to do first, where we left off last time. It was unknown what time it was, but it's been dark the whole time. So the time of day is kind of unknown because you have not experienced a sunrise or a sunset yet. So what would Omen like to do?
Well, so if I remember correctly from the last amazing adventure, there was a battle outside with some wolves. And I didn't leave the comfort of the corner of the shack. I continued to sleep.
Okay, go for it.
I'm sorry. So then what happened next? Right after that, I might be missing a detail, even though I did listen to it. So is that where we're at? Is like right after that battle?
Yes, the battle literally just ended.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass it off to the next player because I'm going to continue to sleep.
All right, very good. Let's go on to Valenthi. What is Valenthi going to do?
Valenthi is going to go ahead and keep that hunter's mark concentration going, just to see how far the wolves retreat.
Nice.
The wolves basically sprint off. During their turn, they basically took off, and they all left at different angles. But she can sense that the one with the hunter's mark has turned and is running north.
North, okay. I will... What is this? This is strange. Oh, this is 2024. I can't remember how far away I can. I guess there's. I don't know. I don't remember if there's a distance.
Oh, let me take a look.
I don't think there is in the new PHB. It just lasts for an hour now.
What is it?
100 mark.
Oh,
It's crazy. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna concentrate for up to an hour and see how long I can keep them. So unless something interrupts it within that hour, what I'm also going to do is I did send you a message of my idea. Knowing this,
Yes.
she's gonna go ahead and just book it into the cabin. Well, actually, maybe.
Well, as she passes Hector, you'll grab her and say, "Give me a hand taking this stuff in before it breaks. The cold is starting to make it not work."
She blinks, confused. Just realizes that there's somebody there. She's like, "Hey, it's." She'll grab whatever she can. It's like, fine, and grab whatever he has, and then make it in. And she's gonna go over with whatever she has. She's gonna lay it down somewhere safely maybe on the corner, and then she's gonna make it over to the body and start inspecting the body so she could try to make a bow.
So roll a medicine check as you start to examine it and take the bones. Now, Hector, you'd see the Valenthes starting to sort of dismember the skeleton or so, and that might, your character might want to, knowing your plans outside of game, you might want to speak up to her before.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my lord! Jeez, my
What?
rolls are not working today. Last time. That's a 5 medicine.
Oh, okay.
So Hector
Once
will-
again,
Hector
as
will
you look at those wounds. Oh, go ahead, Hector. Go ahead.
Hector will look to both the Dragonborn and his new mate, Bobby Buffhead, and go, "Hey, you two, come over here and give me a hand. I need someone to carry these last delicate instruments and someone to give me a hand to get inside."
of course.
The big guy kind of says, "Perhaps if you help me, we can lift this entire crate. Perhaps we can get the whole thing inside."
Well, it is worth a shot.
Roll a strength check.
All right. Plus
Oh.
3.
Oof.
He lifts and just with like as if he's doing a what do they call that? Now I'm drawing a blank, but basically just like picks the whole thing up from a squat position and it just jumps up.
Oh, like a deadlift.
Yeah.
Deadlift, yeah, that's
Yeah.
What
Clean
did
and
you roll?
jerk.
I rolled a 16.
Okay, you guys lift it pretty easily, and you can carry it to the door inside. It'll fit in the door. Now, as you're carrying that, Valente, your medicine check revealed once again, and again, your roll wasn't that great, but as she looks at the wounds, she just once again, her mind just goes to vampire. Something drained the blood from this corpse, and she's just reminded of that as she begins to dismember it. Now, with that being said, there is enough bone, William, for your plan and for Hector's plan, but that will exhaust most of the really good usable bones in the body, aside from the little stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the picture I drew as far as the idea.
Oh.
It should be in the Discord.
Was it in the message or in the chat?
Yeah, in the channel, text channel.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I may not have seen that. Let me double check.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
should
good
be.
drawing.
Let me see, where is it? Yeah, it should be not too far up. Shouldn't be too far up. So you scroll up and
Damn.
it's
On
above.
Valentine's Day.
As Hector enters the little room cabin thing, he turns to oh, I haven't got her name written down. He turns to the elf girl there. This one, if I can get it to ping. Yeah. Next to the door there, and says, "Why don't you go and help that poor girl lying down in the snow rather than just standing there?"
She kind of looks up at you and nods very quickly, and then runs over. And you kind of see her back is to you as she kneels down over Faylene. Now, Faylene, you were unconscious, if I remember correctly, or were you just knocked down? I think you were just.
I was just knocked prone. Yeah.
So she would kneel down as you're getting up. I assume you're getting up. And you see her kneel down, and then she would look at you and she would say, "Are you okay?"
Feline touches the blood kind of like smearing down her shoulder from where the wolf bit her, and just sort of looks at the blood on her fingertips, and she's like, "I'm naked and bleeding in the snow," and just starts laughing hysterically. Like, she's just kind of lost her cool for a minute. And she looks at this elf or this girl who she does not like and she does not trust, and she's just like, "Did you do this? You don't have..." She kind of lowers her voice and she's like, "It's okay. I will not tell the others. Are you a witch? Did you bring me here? Just tell me the truth, please."
Roll a persuasion check.
Ooh, 23.
Nice.
23. Okay.
Nice.
So she's gonna narrow her eyes a little bit and kind of look down, and then you hear her whisper to herself, "Witch," almost like she's trying the word on for size. And then she would kind of look up and say, you could maybe describe me as a witch. I'm not sure if that's really the right word, but no, I did not bring you here." And then she's going to say, "But I can help you if you'll let me. I could help heal your wound." Now, you notice that she lifts her arm up and you see that there's a big wolf bite on her arm and blood just running down. So she's going to hold her arm up, and then she's going to kind of hold it over your body, and she's going to say, "Will you let me help you? Maybe we can start to trust each other."
Feline just says, I just want to go home." Like, it's like halfway between sort of like crying and laughing. But she says, "But you may do what you're going to do."
So she holds her arm over Faylene, and actually right over Faylene's face. And then she kind of she squints and squeezes a bit of blood out of her arm so that it drips down onto Faylene's face. And she's going to say, "Drink it." And then she's going to close her eyes and whisper, "Earlies, please." And then you see, like, as the blood drips down, you kind of see that it drips down in, like, it's almost like it drips down very slowly, like almost like you're watching it in slow motion, but nothing else is in slow motion, just the blood is.
Ooh.
Now, would Faylene go ahead and drink it? It's not much. It's like, 4 or 5 large drops.
I think Faylene actually kind of would. Like, I think she would. I think it freaks her out. But she is just like, she's either convinced that she's gone mad or is like dead, I think, honestly, at this point. And so I think she does. I think she's not sort of scared of this kind of magic, even if she wants her own to remain a secret.
If she tastes the blood, what alignment is Faylene technically?
Faylene is neutral good.
So when she tastes it, 2 things happen. Number 1, as she kind of swallows it, suddenly like a dark feeling sets in her stomach, and she sees this vision. She almost like blacks out a little bit, almost like when you have like a little bout of low blood pressure and you kind of little black out just a little bit. And she sees this black ice crystal glowing in the snow for just a moment. And then when she opens her eyes back up, she has healed for 4 points. She's gotten 4 points of healing.
Oh, excellent.
And then the girl reaches down to offer her a hand to help her up.
Feline will take the hand, but as she whispers up, she kind of leans into the girl and she goes, "If you are a witch, why do you not tell the others?"
Now, as you're talking to her, roll me a quick perception check.
Mm-hmm. That's a 6.
Okay, so as you're talking to her, she makes a face that looks kind of like she's thinking, and she says, I just appeared here like you. I don't know who I can trust. But the fact that you fought those wolves and nearly sacrificed yourself to do it, well, I guess that told me you must not have brought me here to kill me. Otherwise, you would have just let it happen. And then she's like, I'm sorry for trying to provoke you earlier. I was actually kind of convinced that you might have been out to get us. You look really different. She kind of looks at your ears.
She says, if you do not want them to know, I will not tell. I have my own reasons to be wary of people and whether they know what I can do or not. But we will keep each other's secrets, yes?
She nods, and then she cracks a little bit of a smile.
Feline's...
okay.
Sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say now, about that point, as you guys are talking, Sol and Lotto would have gotten the crate drug into the cabin. Now, the crate is there on the map, so it's going to stay there, but just pretend like it's in the cabin. Mm-hmm. But you guys bring it in, and Hector, you see that they bring in the crate with all the instruments inside.
Lovely. Hector will direct them to gently place them out on the table. I think there was a table or something in the room.
There's actually no... Oh, wait a minute. Actually, let me double check that. I can actually... I'm going to copy these. We're going to go to the inside. There was no table. There was a chest and like a little wood stove, but there's no table.
So he'll just direct them to lay them out neatly near the crate there, just in the front of it, and he'll come in and have a look in the crate and to see what's left. I believe there's some calligraphy supplies.
Yeah. So now, okay. So that's a good question, actually. So everything that was, let me guys show. Now that you have all of these things arrayed inside, I'm gonna go ahead and put the lists in there, both lists, because there's a list for the crate and then there was a list for the other things. And I'm going to put them all. At this point, they're all in here, but I just got to make sure to. Is that the one? Nope, wrong one. Okay. This one, this one, this one, this one. Yeah, okay. I'm dropping all these PDFs in the chat, just updated, just so that they're top of mind in the Discord. If anyone wants to claim those items or something, just let the other players know, and we can make an updated list. And then there's the books in there.
Actually, if we want to do it, I put this together
Very
last week so that anybody can edit that.
very nice, very nice. Okay.
Because I put that Soul was going to grab those calligrapher supplies.
Oh, very good, very good. Okay, so Hector, as you're looking around, you see there were definitely calligrapher supplies, but you don't see them now. So anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I'm just-
that sheet is super useful. Thank you, thank you, Kel. Awesome.
Hmm.
Can you guys move your characters right now? Are you movable?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
I couldn't move. Let me see. Let me try again. I don't remember. Was it the carpenter's tools that Valanthi got, or was it the tinker's tools?
I believe it was the tinkerer's tools.
Yeah.
Then that was my mistake. There we go.
Yeah. There we go. Let me see. And then, can I move? Yeah. There we go. Now I can move. I'll be over here, breaking ribs and such. I'll be using one of my flaked rock stones to cut the meat and all that.
Okay, very good. So, okay, now let's go around. And so at this point, I think everyone is inside except for Faylene and Luna. I think everyone, Hector, I think you're inside, aren't you, at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
token's not though.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Shabam. Can you move here? Okay, I'll give it to you.
Yep,
here.
that's me.
All right, shabam. All right, so you guys are in here now. At this point, there's a question of whether you're going to do things or whether you're going to like lay down and go to sleep. So let's just go around. Let's start with Kelf and just everyone kind of say what they would like to be doing over the next course of time.
Soul would like to. Well, first, since he's inside right now and he knows that Faylene and the silver-haired girl are outside, he's gonna go step outside and make sure that she's doing okay, because he knows that Faylene was knocked back, and he wants to go and check on the young girl, considering she seemed a little skittish, and he's kind of taking a bit of a protective ward over her.
Okay. So he's going to go out there. When he steps out there, he sees her and Faylene just finishing what looks like a conversation, and she's like helping Faylene up. And at this point, Faylene, you see that Soul has stepped outside, and you two can interact if you would like.
Faylene's still probably looking a little deranged, but in general, her countenance towards Luna has softened a little bit. Like her hardened exterior is just sort of got this little crack in it. And she looks at Soul and she looks at the girl and she says, "We should all go in. It is going to get very cold, very, very cold. The snow will last at least a day."
Yes, I was coming out to find you two. I see that you have at least found each other in better spirits now. You don't seem to be at one's throat.
A little bit.
Luna
This is upsetting.
Luna would look at Faylene and say, "I think we at least discovered that we're on the same side. In other words, we're both trying not to die."
Yes, is that not the side we are all on?
Luna kind of nods her head, almost a little bit sheepishly, and she's like, "I wasn't so sure before." And she kind of side eyes Faylene, but
Well, rest assured, I don't think anybody out here is trying to find their end of self, but so that we do not find that such fate upon us, I agree with Faylene here that we head inside, we stay warm for the night, and we get some rest, and in the morning we can begin some preparations to begin finding out where we are.
Luna walks inside and she kind of goes to the corner, pops down, and just kind of wraps herself into a ball as if to kind of get warm, looking a bit more comfortable. This Lotto dude, he's kind of sitting in like a crouching sort of like basically down on his, like in a squat, deep squat position, just like resting there. And he's watching you, Valenthi. And he's like, you seem to have a lot of experience cracking open dead bodies. And then let's go to Hector. What is Hector doing? What's he going to be doing for the next little while?
Hector is going through the supplies there and going through the cook's utensils and pulling out hopefully either a pot or a bowl that'll fit over the end of his stump. And then,
go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he'd go across to the corpse and cast mending on the lower left leg. He'd break it off from the rest of the corpse, just on the lower left leg. He'd cast mending.
Valenthi, you see that as this Hector fellow waves a hand over the foot of the corpse and begins to cast mending, you see the damage done to the bones and the harder bits. It starts to slowly piece itself back together. As you know, one of the feet were damaged by what seemed like some kind of damage. It kind of fractured the bone. But you see this figure using a spell that seems to be causing the bone to sort of fix itself back in place, which is actually kind of interesting because Valenthi would know. Actually, Valenthi should roll an Arcana check real quick.
Arcana. All right. Let me see. Let's see how my roll goes on this one.
Come on. We got to get one good one. Come on.
One of these days, right?
Right?
Oh my God.
Not this day.
Jeez. This is going to be hard making this bow, I think.
Well, as you're doing this, you kind of look at this and you see, this character seeming to fix the bone. And you think to yourself, man, what kind of spell is this? This is a little crazy. I'm not sure if Valenthi has seen anything like this, but off the top of her head, she cannot really think of how this could be possible. What the heck? But anyway, so that's okay. So that's what Hector is doing now. Hector, are you going to basically continue to go ahead and fashion yourself a prosthesis?
Yeah. So I will look at the group that's in the room and go, you, elf girl, you were first in here. Is there anything that could cut a hole in this pot? And he's trying to jam the leg into the bottom of the pot to demonstrate what he means.
Faylene, you hear this this figure kind of talking to you as he is
Valenti.
Yeah, it's Valenti who's in here first.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was talking to Faylene.
No, it's all good.
Valenthi, he's talking to you.
Oh. Valenthi is concentrating on trying to break a femur. And she looks up and she says, wasn't completely paying attention, completely focused on her stuff. And she says, what?
Well, do you have something that can cut a hole in here? Do you perchance have a dagger?
And she'll look at you and she'll point over at the floor and she'll say, I flaked those rocks over there. You can use one of them.
Come on, you're not stupid. I'm not stupid. I know you're in here first. I know you went through the wizard's gear. So, I don't care if you keep the dagger. I just need to use it now to put a hole in this pot so I can stick this leg in place so I can walk.
And she'll look over at you and it's like, how do you know there's a dagger here?
Oh, come on. Look at it. Some magic user's corpse. Books, writing supplies, tinker's tools. Has to be.
Your art of deduction is rather brilliant, if you know that.
Everyone but Waz and William roll me a quick insight check. Just while they're talking. Please continue.
24.
6.
20.
All right.
Yeah.
Faylene
Thanks for
and
the.
Mr. Vincent, you notice the big dude. He hears them kind of disagreeing, and you kind of see his eyes widen, and he looks around. You get the sense that he's actually not much of a fan of confrontation. But anyway, continue, Waz and actually Hector and Valenti. Continue.
So, Hector's. Yeah, well, it doesn't take much to work it out. I mean, there is a dead magic user. There's no robes on him. There's no daggers. I've never known a magic user not to walk around with a dagger, without a dagger. You're wearing this lovely new cloak. I'm guessing it's quite warm and is probably stronger than the other cloaks that are here in this box. So I figured you're smart enough to put a dagger aside.
And she'll thin her eyes and she'll look at the rest of the... What does she read from the rest of the room?
So from the two NPCs, she sees actually roll me a quick insight check. And then all of you players get ready to describe what Valenti notices based on this insight check. But I'll tell you what you notice in the NPCs.
If she notices anything at all.
She has had some...
Okay, she does. She rolls a 22. That should have been for the bow. No.
So she sees Luna, the girl, very purposefully not watch the confrontation. Like she's like looking down, fiddling with her clothes, like trying not to pay attention. The big dude, he's looking very uncomfortable. He's just kind of shifting around, and it looks like he keeps thinking he might say something, and then he like shuts his mouth and like watches. How about the rest of you? What does Valenti notice as she looks around?
If Soul sees this happening, or I mean, clearly he can hear it. He's gonna be giving kind of a disapproving look to both of them. With just that kind of look of, why are we fighting? Why are we not working together?
What would they see in Faylene? What would Faylene look like?
Faylene has her head sort of cocked to the side, and her eyes are sort of narrow at the both of them. Not in a necessarily disapproving way, but just in a, I'm very much watching and taking in what's going to happen and scrutinizing what each of you are doing.
Very good. How about is Omen awake and like looking toward this? And if so, what do they see?
So when everybody brought in the crate and everybody piled in and started snapping bones and this, that, and the other thing, Omen's going to get into a sit-up position with his legs crossed, and he's going to look at each member in the room, and he's going to stand up and walk across the room to the chest, if no one blocks his way.
Valenti, will you let him pass behind you as you're there? You're the closest.
Valenti doesn't, I guess, was that rolled. I guess she doesn't suspect any kind of aggression. She's going to continue to do her thing and keep an eye on Hector. And upon reading all this, Hector's needing to do a dig a hole into the pot. That's what he's needing to do in order to rough it out.
Hector, is your character making that pretty obvious that you plan to stick the leg into the pot to create a
Yeah.
prosthesis? Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's like holding them both up. I would assume making it pretty obvious
Yes.
what his intentions are. But what I don't think is clear, and maybe is whether it is more about that or more about the dagger. Maybe Hector, what would you say to that? To the answer to that question? Would he be looking like it's more about the prosthesis and the construction of it, or does it look to Valenthi like Hector's making a statement about the dagger, more like?
Hector's making a statement about his intelligence.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm.
So it
Val-
seems to be a bit of an intellectual observation, and
Yeah.
anyway,
It's
go
art
ahead.
of deduction.
Yes.
Yeah, he's basically saying, I'm smarter than you.
And would we all be
Oh.
able to clock this?
Hector, are you making that pretty obvious, or are you trying to hide that?
No, he's a nasty piece of work. It's a little scathing. It's a little obvious what he's
No,
doing.
yeah, okay. Yeah, everyone would notice. Everyone would pick up on this.
I
Valenthi.
think. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Valenthi about noticing everybody else's reactions and stuff. She's gonna look over at the Dragonborn, and she pulls out the dagger and just slides it over to the Dragonborn, and then she goes back to work on working on the bones, basically.
Now, one little thing, real quick. When that happens, Faylene, you feel a little poke, like something nudges your foot. And
Okay.
if you look over, you see Luna. She has nudged your foot with her foot, and then she kind of gives you this look, like a very serious look, and then she nods toward. You're not sure if she's nodding at Valenthi or Hector, but she's nodding at one of them, and then she gives you like this look with her eyes, like squinting, like kind of like a "uh-oh, this might be trouble" look.
I think she kind of just like reaches like out like a reassuring hand, and then she's actually gonna like come over to Valenthia. She can fit over here, and she would like to, seeing that Valenthia is trying to like snap this femur. If I can, I would like to say something to her along the lines of like, "Oh, you need to twist it this way. Try this way," and give her the help action.
Oh, very good, very good. Now, I don't think Omen is at his chair, but when he gets back, we're gonna find out what he was gonna do with the chest. But anyway, continue. Please proceed.
Yeah, so basically, I just slide the dagger over to Soul,
Okay.
and after clocking and reading his intent, in a sense. And
What does Soul do when he
yeah.
sees that?
When he hands him the dagger, Soul will kind of look at it and nod at Valenthi, and it was Hector who wanted it, right? In order to dig into a bone.
Well, in order to cut a hole in a pot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's found a pot that fits the stump of his leg, and he wants the hole to stick the bone into, so he can walk.
All right. He'll look at the dagger, and he'll say, "All right, whatever helps us keep us up. We all need to be at 100%. Hector is. If this will aid you, then let me help you with it."
Hector turns and says, "Yep, good. Here you go." And he holds out the bowl and points out exactly where to pierce it.
And I'll look at him as I am starting to carve it, and I look at Hector as I'm doing this, and I'll say, I want you to remember, we are all in this together, and insulting those that may find a hand to aid you in time is an excellent way to burn the bridges that you may need to cross. We do not know where we are. We do not know what brought us here, and if we are to survive this, we will need each other. You especially in your condition. So find it within you to be a sense of somebody that we are wanting to help, not wanting to leave behind.
And as he finishes his speech, and I'm guessing finishes carving the little hole.
Yeah.
Yep. Hector jams the pot onto his leg, and it doesn't slip off, and it's a good fit, and he's able to stand up. And he turns to Saul and says, "Thanks, sonny boy. This is going to work just fine."
Now,
What were you saying?
as Hector does this, roll me a. Now, is he using any kind of tools to do this, or is he kind of just going sticking it in by hand, kind of thing, to create the prosthetic?
One more second.
Yeah, he's just jamming it into the hole.
So when he goes to stand on it, roll me a quick 20-sider and with an intelligence. Add make it basically an intelligence check.
Okay.
Straight intelligence.
What do we got there? So, this side. 20. And 3 for intelligence. And, there we go. 21 total.
So he goes to stand on it, and he is successful. However, he does notice it's a bit wobbly and it hurts a little bit. And he thinks to himself, with that kind of intelligence roll, that if I had some like slightly more specialized tools and a little more time, I could probably make this very sturdy and make it a lot more comfortable. But it does seem functional.
Yep.
Now, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, knowing that he'll grab the carpenter's tools. I believe there should be something in there that could help.
For sure.
Actually, yeah, and he'll strip the corpse of the cloak it's wearing.
Did someone already take that cloak, or was
I think I had taken all of that. That's the warm stuff I'm wearing, except for that. Like, if there was a jacket, that's the one I threw on the floor.
I was just going by the.
Oh, sorry, I must have missed that. So Valenti has the one that was worn by the corpse.
Yes.
Yeah, there was 2 in the chest, and there was the one that the corpse had.
Yeah.
However, there was the coat of it was thrown onto the floor, and it's laying beside the corpse.
Yeah,
Well, I'll grab that one.
Yeah, because we had because Luna grabbed one of the sets of cold weather clothing.
Yes.
And then there was the robes of winter that nobody had. And actually, I was just whenever I have them in, I was going to ask Faylene about those weaver's tools.
I'm in front of the chest right now.
Yes. You can go ahead and when you look in the chest, you basically find this whole list of stuff. Everything that has not been claimed, you see in there.
So here's what the only reason I interjected is because here's what I'd like to do. So the sturdy canvas tent is still inside the chest, yes?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to pull the torn and damaged tent out, and I would assume in doing so, I might find the reinforced tent stakes.
Yes, you do.
How many of those are there?
There are 6 of them.
And what's their approximate length?
They're about 10 inches long and about an inch thick. They're pretty heavy duty.
Okay. So I will pull the tent out, and as I discover the stakes, I will keep one, and I will turn and hand the other 5 to whoever is closest to me.
Feline will take at least one. Yeah.
Additionally, I'm going to set the 10 aside for just a moment. Searching through the chest, I notice that there is a set of alchemist supplies. Yes,
Yes.
I will take those.
Now, when you pull those out, they're actually in a smaller wooden chest.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, you see a little inscription that looks like, to you, it kind of looks like almost a cartoony picture of what looks like a bumblebee with
Interesting.
little flames coming off of it.
Okay, so then if I see this chest and I see this inscription, then I'm not going to open it yet.
Okay.
Because I'm right now, so I'll just pretend that I don't know what's inside of it. And I'll set that aside as well.
When you pick it up, you do hear the rattling of bottles inside.
Okay, great. And then I will begin to. I will say this to the group as I'm digging through this stuff. I must apologize for my indifference to the situation we found ourselves in. However, this is the safest I've felt in quite some time. I shall prove myself useful now that I am able to act freely. I will begin to start tearing the canvas tent into strips of some sort to make more clothing type or wrappings that we could use. And if the tent it says it has internal straps or pockets to hang instruments safely, I would like to use some of those straps and perhaps those pockets to begin to set aside so I may fashion them into perhaps a sling.
Oh, like a weapon, like a sling.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, you can totally do that. Now you also realize you can scavenge 50 feet of rope from this tent, although it will have to be tied together to make a full 50 feet. And also, there's enough canvas to make approximately 6 suits of clothing or 3 sets of cold weather clothing.
Yes, please. We are in need of more cold weather clothing, or we will not survive this. There are 7 of us to consider, and if that canvas is good enough to wear, we will need those clothings.
I would say if anyone knows how to fashion clothing better than I would gladly pass this on to you. Absolutely.
Feline basically says something to the effect of, I'm not the most skilled, but I'm willing to give it a try unless somebody else is more adept with a needle and thread.
I am good with a pen.
I would appreciate a scarf.
Yes, I'm good with a pen. I am not good with a needle.
I'm good with the dead.
Quite a handy tool.
And I would just like to say one more thing, that as you now are able to observe Omen, you can tell something unusual about him in that if you see into his eyes at all or meet his gaze, you can easily tell that I have faced unimaginable horror and that I'm no stranger to darkness. People may fear me, but commoners will usually extend their every courtesy to do their utmost to help me, unless I've shown myself to be of danger. Some say they would even take up arms to fight alongside me if I would find myself facing an enemy alone. This is the heart of darkness condition from my lineage. It's very apparent. He wears it on his whole demeanor. So, and I will just continue to work on a sling, perhaps a loincloth, some hand and foot bindings, and I will now pass. And then I'll look at the chest a little bit, but I will pass to someone else now that I've taken up this time. Thank you.
Now, but you said you wanted to start working on the sling.
Yes.
Is that what your character is going to start working on, like right now, or is he going to like basically
I'll work.
put it aside for later?
No, I will work on the sling immediately.
So
More quickly than my foot or hand bindings. I would want a weapon of some sort, so I will do that.
you would realize that leather workers' tools would be needed to really fashion a good sling. I can't remember if there are any in here.
There is
was
not.
Tinkers, cooks, carpenters, calligraphers, and weavers.
If you could borrow, or like when I say borrow, I just mean from the kits themselves, because you're making these out of the straps from the tent. You could rough it by combining carpenter's tools with weaver's tools. However, there's a possibility that it wouldn't be quite as good, but for now, that's something you can do.
Well, I will make myself as much as I can to get the tools that I need that aren't being used by whomever's using other pieces of tools, and do my best monk abilities to fashion some sort of sling.
Faylene, would you offer to Omen some of the weaver's tools? What would your character say to that? And then Hector, you would be asked then for some of the carpenter's tools. Would the two of you basically respond to this in a positive fashion, or would you say something different?
Feline would basically try to turn it into like a negotiating opportunity of like, look, we have to help each other. You help me make these suits with that canvas. I help you with your sling, yes?
Is she still bleeding?
So she is bleeding a little bit, I think, but it looks not quite as bad as it did. Is that correct, Bailey, would you say?
Yeah, it's like probably like congealing at this point, but it's not like dire bad, you know. It's not, she's not showing that it's bothering her in any way. She's just like, oh, look, blood.
All right, that's fine. So I would say I will assist in any way I can.
Okay. Feline looks at Valente one more time and is like, and she sees this body as like sort of like how you would butcher an animal. So she's like, yes, just there. And she's like, come, you bring these, and we go over here and we sew.
Now, William, have you actually rolled for the beginning of the bow making?
Oh no, I just was gathering all the. Basically, I'm gathering all the tendons and bones that I can, because I'm gonna do something else before I actually start working on it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, you could have probably, like, once you get them gathered, you can feel free to move on to the next.
Okay. I'm going to look around. As far as the winter clothing, is there anything that's white, or are they all like contrasted against the white?
Oh, okay. So the cold weather clothing that Valente is wearing right now, that came from the corpse, and the extra suit that Luna is wearing, they both are actually quite brilliantly colorful. One is blue and has these little like gold, like basically gold, like I would say generic magical symbols all over them. They don't look like power symbols. It's more like if someone were to shop at a store that was popular with mages, this would be like the brand name expensive like sportswear for them. So, and that's what you both have on. Now yours is blue. The clothes Luna has on are red. So very gaudy, bright colors.
So nothing in the color of white.
The closest thing would be the tent canvas. All the tent canvas is kind of like basically like an olive drab color.
I see. Well, then I'm gonna attempt to grab just a piece of the tent to just be able to wrap myself in. And then she's
at this point, I believe Omen has the tent canvas.
Well, we're working on it together.
Okay.
I mean, you're welcome to whatever you need. I mean, that's not.
Oh,
Yeah,
what
it's
we
just going to
need
be a
make the
piece in order to
clothes
cover
and
her.
all
her
that.
stuff.
You know.
I don't
I'm
know
just
how much.
leaving
I don't know how
leaving
much
it
there
open for you guys
is.
to speak for things.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know how much there is of it. I was just going to get enough to be able to wrap myself in, kind of a camouflage kind of thing.
You would need
Uh,
1/6 of it at that point.
Yeah, and I think Feline would very much be like, no, we need the suits. You can
And
use the
she's
bedroll.
yeah, the bedroll is not the. What color is the bedroll actually?
Oh, the bedroll is gray, like a dark gray.
Oh yeah, that'll be perfect. I'll grab some of the bedroll enough for me to wrap myself in,
Okay, very good, very good.
and then she's basically gonna grab all the stuff while she's also keeping concentration. Um, she's gonna use her last spell to cast a good berry.
Oh, okay.
And she's gonna take 2 of the good berries, and she's gonna leave the rest on the floor. And then she's gonna go outside and wrap herself.
Is the rest of the group going to see her cast Goodberry? Like, is she making it pretty obvious, or is she trying to hide it?
Oh yeah, she doesn't care. She's just cast it, and then she drops it. Gets 2 of them, drops the rest on the floor, and then she steps outside.
Okay, so you guys see this elf. She, I don't know if you'd like to describe anything special about how you cast it, but would you like to describe anything special or not?
Not too special. She's kind of used to doing this constantly. For her animal forms.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So she just kind of cast one hand into her palm turned up, and then just holds 2 berries, and then drops the other ones on the floor. So like if anybody else needs them and such. And
The
then,
rest of you hear like a very clearly audible thump as these dense berries drop onto the simple wood plank floor. And then you see the elf walk out.
Hector yells out, "Where you going, Smiley? You're trying to make something here. Do you want it? Do you want a hand making it?"
and she pretty much just closes the door so the wind doesn't get into the cabin.
When she walks outside, the wind just hits her. It's starting to get really windy out.
Yeah, she's gonna cover herself best she can.
All right.
Before she steps out, Sol does want to confirm. He will ask Valenti, "Did you just cast Goodberry?"
And she looks over and she's like, "Yes,
Excellent.
free to give them to anybody that needs them."
I thank you for this gift. I will say a blessing in the name of Lathander in your honor.
She lifts an eyebrow. I don't know who that man is, but all right.
With that, Sol's going to pick up the berries and hold.
When Sol mutters the blessing, the minute he says Lathander, he says it, and then the fire flickers a bit, and you hear a pounding on the wall of the cabin back here.
Oh.
Like an audible thump, like you all hear. It's quite loud.
Okay. That is going to raise concern as he says, as he finishes this, and he will tell everyone as he's gonna put the berries down right here on the bed, and will step over to inspect the wall.
Lotto turns and he gets into a stance right in front of the wall. He's like, "Did you hear that?"
I did, and it seemed as if it was a response to my utterance of the morning lord.
Hector should roll me a quick perception check. Hey Omen, what is your alignment? If you want to keep it a secret, you can message it to me.
No, it's neutral.
Oh, neutral. Okay. Valenti, what is your alignment? If you want to keep it secret, you can message it to me.
Oh, it's neutral. Neutral good.
Oh, okay.
Perception. Where are we? There. 30-20.
You hear a whisper, Hector, like a whisper that seems to come from outside the wall. And it sounds like a voice. You don't hear it in language. You hear it in like basically perception of words. And it just you barely hear it. Even to the point where maybe Hector is like, did I really hear that? Or was that just me making something up? Like, I don't know. But you hear the words, no blessings here. Anyway, that's
Hector hears that? Does Soul?
Yeah. No, Soul actually does not hear that.
Okay.
Yeah, Hector's the only one who hears that.
Okay. Hector will sort of look around, sort of think, okay. That gives me some ideas. And he turns to Soul and he goes, so, Sonny boy, can you talk to your god right now?
I can always speak to Lathander if I need to. Yes.
Go on, reach out to him.
Soul will kind of lower his head and say, with the rising of the sun, I will rise as well. My strength is yours, O morning Lord Lathander, to wield against the darkness. I shall burn as the dawn's fire, striking down those who bring ruin and despair. Yet when the day's battles wane, I shall remember mercy, for even the lost may yet find the light. As the sun sets, so I shall rest, knowing that I have walked my path with honor. Grant me the strength to rise again tomorrow, to shine even brighter in your name. So I vow never and evermore, Lathander.
Now, as this is happening, two different things happen immediately that you guys see. One, you see Luna turn and look startled and back away from the wall. Secondly, all the boards, like the wood along here. Now, you see that this picture looks like stone, but that's because the lower part is stone. It's like the foundation, but up above it, it's like wood. It's like a cabin. These logs all start to creak.
Oh, I'm outside. I'm going outside immediately.
Okay, very good. So you run outside. Now
I'm running to the door when all this stuff is happening. I'm going right to the door. I'm going outside. I'm gonna go.
Okay. Soul, as these boards creak, you get this distinct sense that there are eyes on you, but like eyes that were not here a moment ago. Oh, you almost feel like something's staring through the wood at you, but you can't quite put your finger on it. And then Hector, you hear one more thing in your mind. You hear dead dragonborn. But it almost sounds like it wasn't like a statement. It sounded more like a joke to Hector, like it was said in a joking manner.
Okay.
Now, another thing, roll me a religion check, Kelf, when you say that prayer.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go to Valenti and Omen because they're outside and they actually might that might be relevant.
I got a +1 to that. 15.
You feel a cold distance from your god, like kind of uncomfortable. The last time you prayed before this whole thing happened, you felt relatively close. Maybe your heart warmed by the power of your god, as is normal. But here you kind of feel like an empty, cold distance. Not that your god isn't listening. It's more like it's almost like something is between the two of you, and it's hard to put your finger on it. But it certainly does not settle very well with your character. It would make him feel very uneasy at the very least.
Do I get a sense that this? Do I get a sense that it is this space that I am in? Mainly because if that pound came from that back door or that back wall, do I get a sense that it is the space that I am in that is giving me this uneasy feeling?
That's a good question. You should roll a perception check for that. Now, while this is happening, one more thing. Faylene, this girl backs up into you, and then she kind of puts out an arm like in front of you, and then you hear her just say, "Bad, really bad." And then
I got
she's going to
7.
say, please don't pray anymore. Stop. There's something out there. What did you make for perception?
I got a 7, and I'll when do I hear her say that?
Oh yeah, she says it like kind of quiet but loud enough for everyone to hear.
I'm gonna look at her and say, "What is out there, child? Prayer is indicative with who I am."
She's gonna look at you. She's gonna say, "I don't know. I just sense it." Okay, now with that being said, we have to go to Valenti and Omen real quick because they're going outside and they may find some relevant information. All right, let's go. Let's start with Valenti because she had a little bit of a head start going outside from Omen. Unless you two want to team up together, because Omen basically came right outside, not long after Valenti did.
Did Valenti even notice that? But I know she was.
Oh, the
shutting
thumping.
door.
Roll a quick perception check to see if she would have heard it. She would have needed a 10 to hear it. It was pretty loud.
Yeah, she will probably.
But there was wind outside.
Come on.
No, she's not going to hear nothing. She's not going to hear nothing. Let's see.
Oh. Okay, so yes, she heard this.
So she heard.
And then you see me come out the door. So
She's going to. But what her intentions were to climb up the roof with her stealth. Which that's what she was going to intend to do for the 4 hours. She was going to meditate or just work on the bow up there by herself. Actually, she was going to go to the stone that was next to the cabin.
Okay.
So she's going to go ahead and proceed to climb up into the roof.
I'm going to grab the other scene here real quick because we might be outside. Okay.
She's going to grab her broken ribs just in case that she has in her hands. she's going to climb up first and then grab a hold of the ribs from the dead body to use as weapons just in case. But her intentions were to make it to this thing over here.
Okay. Okay.
But
so go ahead and show me what path she's going to take back there.
But she was going to climb up here.
Okay,
and then
gotcha.
she was going to make her way over there using her stealth.
So roll a stealth check real quick.
Okay.
And then, Omen, you should tell me what you're going to do also.
all right, I'm not going to be stealthy. I'm going to, since I saw her jump onto the roof, I'm going to immediately run this way.
Okay.
I'm going to dash this way and come around the corner.
Very good. Very good. What was your...
What I see?
Oh, is this the stealth roll? Oh, okay.
Mine is a 26.
So one thing you notice, Omen, is that when she goes up on the roof and you lose sight of her, I mean, she may as well have disappeared. You don't hear anything, basically. So she's up there. But you come around here and you see this big rock, which is about as tall as the shelter. Actually, ironically, it's literally almost like back to back with the shelter right where you heard the thumping come from. It would be impossible for someone to stand there and pound on the wall.
That's fine. So I'm just going to, let's see, that was 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yeah, I can move 60 feet if I dash, but I'm just going to come around the corner like this and begin investigating to see if I can discern where these whispers were coming from.
Oh, yes. Go ahead and roll a check. Now, Valenti, you're up there. What would you want to do while you're up on top of the thing?
Yeah, I'm just going to the edge and looking down to see what I can see.
Roll
at
a perception.
the ready.
Roll a perception check.
Oh, no.
Valenti tries to open her eyes.
That's an 18.
18 investigation check. Very good. Very good.
I see nothing at all.
Oh my. Okay, so Omen, are you investigating this whole area over here? Just looking around, looking for clues?
Yeah, and actually that's a 20 roll, by the way. But anyway, yes, I am looking at whatever area I can. I'm going to be looking more towards where the thumping was coming against the wall. So more in this area. If I have to climb on the rock a little bit and start looking around through here, then I will do that.
Okay, gotcha. Now I've got to figure out how do I get my I've got to get the right tool here. Is this?
Oh, and I've got one of those spikes in my hand, by the way.
How do I bring up my my options? Oh, there we go. Okay. I need to go to the weather. Condition marker. How do I access the... No, that's not it. Huh. Well, anyway, I'll do that in a moment. But the weather, so the snow seems to be getting thicker. Valenti, you're looking... Oh, did I just paste and copy all those other things in there?
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so Valenti, you look and you see nothing. You see a big rock, and then you just see snow falling. And then the snow is getting thicker. It's getting much, much thicker. But your character, Omen, you're looking around and you don't really see anything. You don't see anything extremely different or useful. However, when you look up at the roof during your search, you see Valenti up there in the snow. You can barely see her. She's looking around. But right beside her, right north of her, right here, you see that the snow is missing, almost like it's falling on something invisible.
I throw the spike at it.
Roll to hit.
Well, let's see here. Dexter +5. Come on, that's an 18.
Nice.
So you throw a spike. Valenti, you hear a spike whistle past your face. And then the spike flies past you over the roof, and then it kind of goes over the top of the thing. And the minute the spike kind of reaches that area, you see that the snow starts falling as normal, and the displacement disappears. And then you and Valenti should both roll a quick perception check.
All right.
Sorry, lots of perception checks.
That's all right. +1. Come on, that's a 13.
13 as well.
Nice.
Both of you hear what sounds like kind of like a whisper,
Oh, I don't like that.
and then nothing. But it wasn't like a whisper that said anything. It was just a whisper. But it was definitely a whisper, not the wind.
Right. So
Unless-
I'm gonna say to Valencia, I'm gonna say, this is not the only time I've heard whispers. They do not bring good omens. And I'm going to using my own name, no pun intended. I will move around where I threw the spike. If it went over the roof, is that what you're saying? It just passed over the roof and into the darkness?
It flew over the roof and into the darkness. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna move around the rock as quickly as I can and try to locate that amongst the snow or whatever, or see if I can see it sticking out of the ground, and also looking to see if I can see any other displacement.
Yeah, Valenti's going to keep an eye on him with her bones at the ready.
Okay, gotcha. No, Omen, you walk over there and you actually find your spike just sticking into the snow, sticking out of it. I mean, just like if you had just thrown it over the roof. And as you look at it, you think to yourself, like, why? What's going on here? It's kind of suspicious.
Sure.
Valenti, you, as you're watching him do this, everything looks normal to you. Nothing really looks out of the ordinary.
Can I still figure out how far the wolf? I don't know how long it took me to get the bones, but how long where the wolf is now?
You would sense that it is straight north. It has gone basically straight north and then stopped. It's been stopped now for a couple minutes, and it's gone quite a distance.
Clock how far?
You're thinking about 2-ish miles.
Okay, 2 miles. Wow. Okay.
Damn it.
Well, wolves are pretty quick, so that would be what, about 15 minutes. All right. Alrighty then.
I want that wolf.
In that case, she's gonna gather her items and stuff, and she'll come walk over and ask him, "What do you think they are?"
Well, they move like the wind and are difficult to see, but they are not friends or allies. Perhaps they are just here to taunt us. I am used to being taunted, and I do not like it.
And she'll wrinkle her eyebrows. Well, either way, since they are bad, it's very stressful. I intended to work on my bow up here, but it seems that danger is lurking in the night.
And the wind is picking up quite a bit.
All right,
There
so
we-
I'm going to then move as quickly as I can and run back into the doorway and inform the people inside. We are not alone. Be
Okay,
on
now-
your guard.
As Omen's coming down there, Omen, before you get there to say that, we're going to
Okay.
go back inside and then
Sure.
see what they want to do. Okay, inside, what would you all like to do while this is going on?
I will use the restroom. Yes.
Go for it, go.
I mean, Soul is definitely very concerned about the fact that when he is saying his prayer, there's clearly something that doesn't like that.
Now, one thing Soul does note is that Soul was able to use his magic just a bit ago,
Right.
which seemed to indicate that he has not, the connection is not severed. It just
Right.
feels distant.
Yeah. And so with that, there's like I said, there's kind of this thought of I was able to use my magic not long ago outside. So I know that Lathander can hear me. I know that I still have that innate connection to him. But he is feeling very kind of like almost figuratively and almost literally like lost in the dark. So he is going to grab the lantern that was in that chest, and he is going to begin to take the dagger and slowly start to carve the symbol of Lathander into that. And he will step outside as he is doing this, because he feels that this might be possibly a desecrated place, and he wants to say a prayer as he does this.
Okay. All right. Very good. As you're doing that, roll me a religion check real quick for the prayer part. And then Faline and Hector, what are you guys doing while Soul is doing this?
You go, Faline.
Faline is very just like, this is all kind of going over her head. She doesn't know who Lathander is. She doesn't know what they're talking about. And while she's kind of freaked out by the boards, she also just sort of puts a reassuring hand on Luna real quick and is like, it's okay. Only children are frightened of wind. And then continues working on the sewing the cold weather outfit out of the tent canvas.
As she does that, Luna kind of sits against the wall and just like sits down beside her, still kind of watching the back wall, very concerned. And then she's going to whisper, "There are things in the dark here to be very afraid of."
How do you know that? What kind of things?
She just kind of looks down and fidgets with her hands, and there is a marked silence at the end of your question. Goes unanswered.
She's like, come now. And she lowers her voice and she's like, what did we say? We trust and we keep each other's secrets, yes? You did not lie to me, yes?
She's going to nod as if agreeing. And then she's going to say, I don't know what words to put to it. I'm new here like you. I just sense something. And then she kind of nods toward the paladin who's walking outside the Dragonborn, and she'd say, it doesn't like him at all.
Well, what's to like? I mean, look at him.
Oh,
She's going to say, it's not that he's a dragon. It's that he uses that magic. Speaks to that god, whoever it is.
Do you speak to gods?
She nods without answering.
I've never known gods to answer any of my prayers, so I find this very confusing.
She would say, mine answered when I healed you.
Do they have a name?
She would kind of very quietly put a finger up to her lips, kind of like signaling to you that that's not the question to ask, maybe, or that she shouldn't answer it. Not like she doesn't want to answer it, but she like a cautionary finger to her lips.
Feline sees this and she doesn't want to press right now. She wants to get back to working on her thing, ever the pragmatist, and she's like, well, be on your guard. But
No.
if
Go ahead.
it becomes between the blizzard or a little bit of creaking wall, I choose creaking wall.
Hector, you should roll a perception check as they're having this conversation. See how much of that you pick up, because you're in there as well.
Okay.
The big guy seems oblivious to it, and he kind of, you see him push against the wall, and then he's like, it would take a very strong creature to push this log wall down. I think we are safe, but I do not know where the knocking came from. This concerns me. He kind of knocks on it. It doesn't make nearly the knocking sound that other knock was.
So just a 13 on perception.
You would have caught bits of their conversation, mostly just the very beginning and the very end, mostly the parts where Feline was like reassuring the girl. But anyway, what would Hector like to do?
Hector at this stage is looking at the instruments and seeing how they're reacting to this so-called invisible creature.
Oh,
And-
okay.
And at the same time, he will notice the component pouch and think, "Oh, I could use that," and just pocket the component pouch.
Okay. It seems well stocked with various arcane components.
Excellent.
Where are you gonna stash it?
Oh, I've got the robe. I've got the
I'm just
robe on.
kidding. I'm just kidding. I was trying to. Never mind.
That's all right. I was gonna build some hooks into the leg or something like that and use it as a portable shopping basket.
You none of the instruments are acting on their own. Is there one you would like to pick up and turn on?
The actual one that went dead that he was using outside.
That was the I believe that was the resonator device. Or no, that was the planar resonance
Planar.
sensor.
Yep.
So Feline, you see this. You see Hector hold up a small compact device that has these multiple rotating discs with interlocking gears. It looks quite clockworky, and it's got small glowing gemstones in it. But you see him basically flick a switch, and you see the discs begin to rotate, and the gems begin to kind of light up and glow, and you hear a faint whirring sound as the little handheld device begins to work. You should roll an Arcana check real quick, Feline, when you see him turn this on.
16.
You realize you've never seen anything like this before. You have no idea what this thing is, but it looks like some kind of sensor.
She'll just ask him about it. She just wants to know, what does that do?
Well, I'm trying to work it out. I got this pile of notes over here that I've got to sort through. But yeah, it seems to measure things, or in this case, I think it may actually open a gate. I'm not sure.
When you turn it on, you should roll me an intelligence check and add your proficiency modifier.
Okay. Intelligence. Is it any particular?
Actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to change that. I'm going to change it to an Arcana check with a proficiency modifier.
Excellent. So what's that? So Arcana gives me +9.
And I also want to know which direction you're pointing in.
Whoops. A total of 12.
Okay.
And yeah, basically, I dare say I would be pointing into the last sort of area that I heard the sound from.
So when you point it over there, at first it reads actually a 0.05. But when you turn it toward the wall, the whirring gets a little louder and it jumps up to a 1.0.
Worries. So he'll turn to Phelan and say, not quite sure, but maybe there's something there. And he'll look at the Luna's eyes because he remembers that her eyes are weird.
Yeah. Right now they look what he would consider normal for her. They do not look like they did when he saw the aurora.
Yep.
Now at this point the door swings open. Well, actually Sol was walking out, but you hear footsteps come running, and Omen, you run into Sol, who's on his way out right now.
We are
see
not
Sol's
alone.
carrying a lantern.
We are not alone.
Of course we are not. There are 7 of us in this predicament.
No, there is something else out here. Something that camouflages itself. Be on your guard.
Is that what was knocking on the back of the building?
I believe so. I attempted to strike it and it dodged my blow.
The big guy inside kind of shouts, "If that's what was knocking, it must have a hammer to make a sound like that. Even my fists will not." He punches the wall, and the sound is like not even half as loud as the sound you guys heard.
Right. Well, I'm going to say to the big guy, I'm going to say, if you want to punch something, you need to come outside now.
He kind of turns around very quickly. You see the serious look in his eyes, and he's like, "Punch? I'm on my way."
Yeah, Sol's gonna head back around as well.
Okay.
And I step aside and let him pass through.
Yeah, he comes out. He still has no clothes on. He just walks out there. I mean, just naked as the day was born.
Well, I don't have any on either.
Okay.
I mean, I have some stuff wrapped around my hands and my feet, but that's about as far as I got before the pounding started. So, I mean,
he just kind of walks outside, and he actually is going to go follow Sol. You hear big footsteps behind you, Sol. If you turn and look, you see the Lotto just lumbering behind you. I mean, just massive glutes, huge chest muscles.
Hell yeah.
Just a monster of a human. That definitely looks like a human.
So as I get out to the back and I see the back side of the building, Sol is going to look around. It is still more or less just like barren waste, right?
Yeah, just like black rock, snow, and ice.
All right.
Is pretty much everything.
Taking Omen at his word for what it is, for what it is, that there's something out here. I am going to hold the dagger in one hand. I have the lantern in the other, and I'm gonna kind of shout off into the distance. "I know you lurk in the shadows, foul thing. You cower in the abyss, fearing the light, whispering your horrors in the dark. Come forth and face me, for I am dawn's fire. I am the sun that burns away the night, and you shall find no shelter in the black, no safety in your creeping void. Lathander's light reaches all, and it shall find you. Step forward or slither away like the coward you are. But know this, the sun will rise and your reign of shadow will be undone. And as I say that, I am going to breathe fire into the lantern to set it ablaze with radiant fire.
So the lantern flares up. Okay, so when you do this, you should roll a religion check.
Okay.
And you should actually roll it with advantage.
Ooh.
And all of you hear this, I'm assuming, because this is quite loud.
Beautiful.
Especially you, Valenti, because you're outside as well.
Soft 20.
Very nice. Okay, so you do this and you blow the fire in to the lantern, and it's just like the light lights up. Behind you, you hear like a thumping. Sounds like this big guy's hitting his chest while you're talking. Seems to be pumping you up a bit. And then you hear what sounds like whispers, and then these little laughs. And then you actually, Soul, you hear a little whisper in your voice or in your mind, and it's not even really like, it's not even in the like language. It's more like a concept, but it does come in the form of a voice. It comes in the form of a female voice, and it just says one word. It says, soon. And then it says it in kind of like a laughing kind of way, like a mischievous laughter.
I'll quickly look around and, where are you?
And then
Southeast.
No sooner does it say that, then suddenly you feel that heaviness that you were feeling. It's lifted. And then you feel once again the warm connection to your God that feels warm.
Beautiful.
Now, Valenti, I see that you maybe jumped over to this rock over here?
Yeah, I was gonna attempt to move to that rock.
Yeah,
I don't know if I do or
just
not.
roll a quick acrobatics check. It's pretty easy, but you need to make a 12 to successfully leap to the top.
All right. Well, let's see.
But this might be important. You might see something.
I know, right? It's like, what do my elven eyes see?
No.
Okay, yeah.
So
You made it over there. Now roll a perception check.
Perception. Now I do have some survival stuff too, just in case. I don't know if that would also for like tracks. I mean, but let's see.
That is, yeah, no. Actually, that's a good question, but at this moment, it's not necessary.
Let's see what.
But she does have low light vision, right?
She has night vision, actually. Yeah.
Oh, night vision. Okay. What was that check? Was that did I see a 15?
Well, this one was a 7 for the perception.
Oh. You look around. You don't really see anything, actually. The night looks still, but the wind is picking up and the snow is blowing into Valenti's face.
The snow is making it hard for her to see anything.
Omen, you were kind of like going back inside, but you kind of got stopped. What would you like to do?
So basically, he's going to say to the people inside, like he said to Soul, we are not alone. Arm yourselves with whatever you can and be on your way. And I will then close the door and move back around this way.
Roll a perception check as you go over there.
Additionally, as I'm moving, I will roll that check and then I'll ask you a question.
Yeah, go for it.
That would be a 15.
So you see something really interesting as you walk over there. Now, this might affect your question, so I'll say this first. But here, you see in the snow, kind of going in this direction, what look like beautiful little kind of like images on top of the snow, like little, like almost like little like snowflake looking imprints, but they're so light and so delicate, and they're like, they range from 4 to 6-ish inches in size, and they have a slightly bluish magical tint to them that glows ever so slightly, but they seem to be leading off in this direction. They were
Okay.
not there before. You are sure that they were not there before.
They weren't there when I picked up the spike that I threw over the roof, right?
No, in fact, you're standing right over the hole where you picked up
Right.
the spike, and they were not there before.
So my my dark vision eyes will follow the where the tracks go in the direction they are, and I also contemplate to myself. If I recall, when we first arrived here, I was the only member that heard certain whispers during the transportation from our realm to this. I want to know if
Yes.
those whispers were similar to the words that I heard whispered when you mentioned I heard whispers after I threw the spike.
Actually, they did not sound similar at all.
Okay, great. That's fine. I just wanted to clarify that.
But
So
as
I
far
will
as where the
just
tracks,
I
you
will
see
just
they kind of
look
start
towards
here.
the tracks. Yeah.
They kind of seem to start here, and then they go off in this direction. And when you look, you see them go off as far as your eye can see, though your vision stops after about 20 feet because it's obstructed by the snow.
Sure. I will move. I will then move another few feet towards the, as you can see where my character is moving, to follow the tracks and see if I can still see them continuing away.
As you walk, if you go another 10 feet, you look down and you see these little indentations in the snow. So faint, and they're just like these geometric symbols. They kind of remind you of snowflakes, but you see them begin to disappear right before your eyes, moving forward, like disappearing out. And then you see something silhouetted in the snow about 20 feet in front of you. It almost looks like a woman, but then as soon as you see a little silhouette, it just vanishes from view.
Can I discern any way what way it disappeared or moved off to?
It almost looked like a trick of light, like it just
Okay.
was. It was visible for a moment, and then it wasn't. Perhaps into the snow, because the snow kind of obscured it, and then it was gone.
Gotcha. I understand the visual. Thank you for that. That's really good.
Yes.
Well, then I will mutter to myself, more nefarious magic, more nefarious madness. And I will back away, still looking in that direction, back towards the encampment, and pass it off to whoever would like to do something next.
Yeah. At this point, I'm going to call it an open floor. Whoever wants to do anything, because there's nothing right now seriously like encounter-wise driving it. So whoever wants to do something, go for it. Or if you just want to continue the tasks you were working on, you can go for it.
Yeah, Soul wants to go back to carving the symbol of Lathander into this lantern to consecrate it.
The big guy's holding his arms around himself, and he says, "Lathander, I've not heard of this god before, but I worship Elona. She is my patron goddess."
Oh, I thought you were saying that you worshipped by yourself.
Oh, I will admit I'm not the most religious person, but when I do pray, I pray to Elona. I favor nature, natural things.
That is reasonable. From where I come from, Lathander, he is a god of birth and renewal, of new life, the dawn. He is the bringer of it. If you are a follower of nature, there is a goddess named Shantea. She brings forth the harvest. She is a mother of all nature and provider. She works hand in hand with Lathander. The two of them sustain life. I feel that if you follow a similar religious belief, that we shall get along, whether you practice vehemently or even minor.
He kind of looks up at you with a skeptical look, and he says, "Where I come from, the god of the sun, the god of shining things, his name is Pelor."
I have heard of this, Pelor.
His eyes light up. So
Yeah.
perhaps we come from the same place.
Where I come from, the utterance of the name Pelor is in most lore and legend from realms beyond. It is the name of an aspect of Lathander.
He kind of shakes his head confused. He's like, I passed a shrine of Pelor just this morning. Everyone worships him where I come from.
Then that is good. Then your world knows the glory of the Morning Lords. For that I am happy.
He shrugs. If you say so. I don't know much about it myself.
Well,
Can I say something?
Yeah, you're right there. You hear all this going on.
Right. So as I don't know any of these people's names yet. So as the Dragonborn is speaking this and carving his lantern, I say to the big guy, "You speak of Alonia and Pelor.
Yes.
I am familiar with these names, although they are much in my past."
Oh, maybe you are from the same world as us then, or perhaps some aspect, or maybe a slightly different overlapping place. I do not know much about such things. I'm just trying to reason it through with my mind, which I will admit is getting tired.
I would suggest you go inside and help fashion some sort of garment that will cover your girth.
Ah, yes. He goes inside. He's like shivering and holding his arms around his body as he goes inside. It's much warmer in here.
I'm going to look at Omen and say, you say that you know of his gods and that you are possibly from the same world. What is this world that you hail from?
It is known as Oath. Some people call it Greyhawk, named after the largest city. They too worship Alonia and Pelor in these lands. Or at least they did when I lived there.
I understand. This is not the world that I come from, but I am glad that faiths throughout the world still view the Morning Lords and the rising of the sun in such respect.
Well, I am not a religious man. I have prayed to gods often and they have seemed deaf. However, I know it gives comfort to some.
Yes, those that find themselves in the dark, it is the sun that gives them the faith to move on, the hope that we all need. This is why I wish to honor the Morning Lord with the carving on this lantern. I aim to consecrate it in his name, that it may serve as a beacon of hope, to let those who carry it know they are never truly alone.
And so then
Valenthi, you hear this conversation because you're right up there if you wanted to join in or anything, but you would definitely hear it.
I just want to tell, I'm going to tell Soul all the things that I saw. The strange disappearing creature and the footprints. And I'll just say that I am explaining that to him to expedite the explanation.
Now, as you guys are talking about that, actually, you should both roll me a quick nature check or arcana check, whichever is higher for you. Actually, Valenthi, you should do this as well because you hear this going on. Either nature or arcana, whichever sounds.
Yeah,
whichever is
neither
better.
good for me.
Uh-oh. You hear this and you're just like, what the heck is
That's
going
20
on?
arcana, 20 arcana.
Oh. So you definitely pick up on something. I want to see what Valenthi rolls real quick.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
She's still on the roof, man.
Yeah, I'm just
Valenthi,
sitting on the roof.
As you hear this, you think to yourself, it must be magic of some kind. Like what else, what other explanation could there be? But unfortunately, she does not arrive at any kind of like actually, you know what? Valenthi should roll with advantage because of a certain reason, actually. Go ahead and roll one more time.
Let's see. See what it rolls now. Oh, that's a 17 now.
So, Valenthi, you hear this, and actually, you think to yourself, this sounds like a Fae thing. This kind of sounds like Fae magic.
Oh, we never trust the Fae.
And then, Omen, you, as you're talking to Soul about it, you kind of come to the same conclusion. You think to yourself, come to think of it, looked a whole lot like Fey magic to me. Like the little snowflakes and they disappear. And then I see a woman's silhouette that disappears in the snow. Those all sound kind of like Fey things. But it's
Fey.
Observation.
If I believe that it may be Fey that are trying to play tricks upon us. I've had my dealings with these foul beasties before. They tend to get into your mind and into your thought processes. I do not like them, and we should be on our guard.
Now, as you say this, we're going to switch to the inside, to Phaline and Hector, and let you guys let us know what you'd like to be doing. I don't know if you're just kind of working on your stuff or if you would like to do anything, but feel free to let me know.
Philine's still just been working on sewing the whole time. I don't know at what point I need to make a check for that, but...
Go ahead and make a check, actually. With... Luna starts to kind of help you if you would let her.
Oh, yeah.
So she gives you the help action. You should roll with advantage.
Would that be like just Dex?
It would actually be, let me double check here. You're using the Weaver's tools, right?
Yes.
It would be Dex, and then you get to add your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're proficient.
I'm actually not.
Oh, then yeah, just make a Dex check.
Oh, that was terrible. Oh, but she's helping. Okay.
Yeah, you get advantage.
That was not any better. Okay, that's a 6.
So you're working on it, and you kind of get done, and you'll hold or get done with a part, and you kind of hold it up, and you see that it's all crooked, and you kind of realize, oh man, as soon as someone wears this, it's going to pull right apart, and you kind of realize you've made no progress.
Can she start like undoing the strings to try again?
Sure, she can do that. Yes.
Yeah, she'll start like she just sighs and she's undoing it, and like part of her is kind of like, oh, maybe she even like says this out loud, whispering to Luna. She's like, "Oh, there's only one more snowsuit left, and I do not want to take it, but I cannot get this right."
Luna's like, "Don't give up. I'm sure you can make it work."
I will try again. And she's just undoing everything and starting over.
Luna just kind of helps where she can. But then she kind of starts to slow down, and then she says, "I'm really tired. I think I'm going to lay down."
You go to sleep. There are 6 other people here.
She goes over here and kind of curls up in a ball and lays down. And so does Lotto. He kind of walks over here and he's like, plops himself down. He grabs part of the bedroll that's left and kind of covers himself with it. But it doesn't even begin to cover him. It kind of just, it looks like a little towel on him. He almost immediately begins to snore extremely loudly. Like those of you from outside, like you literally hear it. And Valenthi, you can almost hear it through the roof. It's so loud.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You
But
might
anyway,
know all my friends I have.
so anyway, Hector, how about you? What are you going?
Not really getting anything from the instruments and that. He's sort of going, oh yeah, the thermometer's dropping. That's to be expected. There's more snow. That's the pretty straightforward sort of stuff here. Oh well, maybe I need a rest. Maybe it'll make more sense in the morning, or whatever passes for morning. And he'll turn to Phaline and say, I don't know much about sewing, but maybe Death can give you a hand, and he'll cast guidance on her.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
And then he'll
Phaline, you feel this magic settle upon you, and your hands suddenly move with a bit of a swift dexterity that you did not possess before.
Nice.
And then he'll go and basically be the little spoon to Lotto's big spoon.
Oh, yes.
So
Lotto feels
well, he's got
feels
the
like
ward
there's
for Oberon, so it's nice and
Oh, okay.
Right.
I was gonna say it feels like hard muscle coated with a good thick layer of blubber, very warm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of smells like sesame oil. But
perfect.
Wait a minute, where's my red card?
Okay, so you guys are working on that stuff. Valenti, what are you gonna do? What are you doing?
I'm just she's just working on her bow. She needs her weapons back. So that's pretty much all she's doing because she can just take 4 hours to
Gotcha.
meditate.
Okay,
So she's gonna work on there until she's completed it, and then she's gonna meditate and go into a trance.
Go ahead. Did I already have you roll the check for it or not yet?
No, because she was going outside before all that banging happened.
You should go ahead and roll a check on it as you work on it. And then
All right.
Soul and Omen, what are you guys going to do? Everyone seems to be settling in. You see some people are going to bed. You see that Valenti is up on the roof, basically settling in. You feel the tiredness beginning to sway, to fall over you.
Yeah, I'll Soul will once he finishes once he finishes carving that sun into the lantern, he's gonna turn to Omen and just kind of acknowledge, the fact that he rested before that he took that moment, and he'll smile and say, "Oh, my friend, I think it is time for us to retreat within to find rest for ourselves as you did before."
Agreed. After you.
And he nods, and he'll step in order to get out of the cold.
And then I'll walk in and close the door, and then I will get into the cross-legged position facing the door and begin to meditate as well. However, I am right in front of the door. If anybody opens the door, they're going to trip all over me. So.
Gotcha. Okay, very good, very good. All right. So at this point, we have Faylene sewing. Soul, did you say you were resting, basically?
Yeah, as long as I have that lantern with me,
Yes.
I'm gonna keep that going, and then just try and get some rest.
So we're going to go ahead and speed for a few hours while people are resting. The night seems to pass relatively quietly. Valenti, of course, you're up. You actually finish your bow, and as you look down at it, you feel a great sense of accomplishment. You put the string. I assume you strung it. I'm assuming that's part of it.
Yeah, with the tendons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now she doesn't yet have an arrow. That's a separate.
Yeah, that was the flaking that she was doing. She was going to use those for arrows, and she would need to have pretty much use some of those to also kind of crack and break from the cart. That was her next step once she finished the bow. So whatever the 4 hours, whatever she can accomplish in arrows in the last of the 4 hours before she goes into a trance, this is what she's going to do out there.
Gotcha. Okay. So she could get to the point where so basically you want her to go ahead and which would be a higher priority for her after finishing the bow? Would it be making an arrow, or would it be resting, which would be a higher priority?
Usually because everybody else takes 8 hours. So what the priority was to use all the 4 hours to finish the bow.
Oh, the first 4 hours of the rest.
Yeah. So use the 4 hours to finish the bow and get the arrows done. And then she uses the last 4 hours to rest, because she figures that the snow would be pretty high. And what she tends to do is stealth into the snow by because the snow gives you kind of a, what do you call it? Insulation.
Gotcha. Okay, so go ahead and roll the crafting check for that.
Okay, so I know it was survival last time. For I guess arrows would be the same thing.
Yes, if you're using makeshift tools, yes.
Okay, let's see here.
Now there's gonna be a special feature of your bow. And this is basically like a feature I would call like primitive, like a primitive technology thing. But
Nice.
So
okay.
around
Yeah,
3
good
on the
job.
arrows.
Now the arrows, I'm gonna roll to see how many. Actually, you should roll a d6 to see how many you can fashion in the 4 hours.
D6.
So you fashion 4 arrows.
Okay.
Now your bow, because it's a primitive bow and because it was made with primitive materials and because it's kind of a sensitive instrument to a bit of a point, it has a feature where every time you use it, you should roll a d10. And if you roll a 1 on that 10, it breaks. But as long as you don't roll a 1 on it, you're fine.
Knowing my luck. Dang it.
Right as you draw it back.
And I know, right? It breaks apart.
With that being said, if you could get in the future some more supplies and do another crafting on it, you could improve that feature. It's kind of just as it is right now kind of thing.
Sweet. Well, then in that case, yeah, she's just gonna, because I figured the snow would pile up, and that what she plans to do is dig a hole on top of the place, because she got her warm clothing on, and then she's gonna use the snow as insulation and just kind of stealth herself inside the snow and stuff.
So no, totally. Now, as she is getting ready so when she stealths into the snow and is preparing to take her meditative rest, would that be a correct way to voice it?
Correct.
All right. She actually sees something over the horizon. It's a bright glow. And she realizes she's witnessing the sunrise. So it's coming from on this map, what would be the east. So in this direction. And she sees the sun rising up, and it's a little bit dull because of the blizzard kind of obscures a bit, but she does see kind of a glow on the horizon, and slowly the area begins to light up just a little bit. The pale blackness is replaced with a very dim gray as the sunrise occurs. Now, with that being said, I'm assuming at this point, there's a question of you, Faylene. I think you're the only one who's not actively resting at the moment, unless you were going to go ahead and start your 4 hours about the same time Valenthi did.
She was not. She was going to continue sewing till she got at least one suit done if she can.
Roll another Weaver's Tools check actually not with advantage this time because Luna went to sleep.
Any chance I can use that guidance?
Yes, you should totally roll with the guide. So you get to roll it and add it.
Yeah, D4, right?
Yes. With dexterity, but no proficiency, unfortunately.
Okay, that's a 15.
Ah, yes. You hold your second attempt up, and you realize this should hold.
Okay. Once she has it done, she'll put it on because she's like, I'm not willing to like put somebody else in this if I'm not willing to wear it myself, right?
Yeah.
And how long would that have about taken her to complete?
That would have taken her until 2 hours into Valenthi's rest. So here's basically how this went down. A lot of people started their sleep, and then Valenthi was working while they were sleeping. So that includes Sol, Luna, Lotto, and Hector, and Omen. I believe you're resting too, aren't you, Omen?
Yeah, I'm in a meditative state. which is similar to resting. That's something I learned where I'm from. So I mean, it's the same as similar to what an elf does, but
Gotcha. Do you have to go 8 hours, or can you go 4 hours?
no. Well, technically, he to be honest, he'd have to go 8 hours, but he's never really he hasn't had a long uninterrupted rest in many, 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 many moons.
Gotcha. Okay.
So he's kind of used to being constantly awakened and bothered.
Gotcha. Okay. So basically, the way this would go is, once Valenthi kind of enters her rest, everyone else is 4 hours in, and then 2 hours go by. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me think about that. No, that's not quite. It might be less than that, actually. Let me roll this, because it kind of depends. Actually, you should roll me a 4-sider real quick.
Okay.
We'll see how fast she was sewing.
That's a 1.
Okay, so it would have actually only taken her 1 hour. So you actually are only behind by 1 hour. So you get it done 1 hour into Valenthi's rest, 4 hour, and so then 5 hours into everyone else's rest.
Okay. I think not knowing what Valenthi's doing and not really trusting necessarily everybody in this group, and also just with everything happening, she probably would not go to sleep. I think she would keep sewing and keep watch.
Now, is Valenthi an elf, or is she a half elf? I didn't remember.
Valenthi is elf.
Not Valenthi. Phaelin.
She's an elf.
So you, if I'm understanding correctly, you wouldn't have to go to sleep to rest. You could
rest
in a meditative.
I could rest in a meditative.
Or reverie. Yes.
Okay. I think in that case, she'll probably finally put her sewing down, and she'll seeing everybody sort of asleep as just a character flavor thing, very secretly check on the fire and kind of relight everything with a firebolt. Just as I have a little something that's mine and it's a secret, and I'm just going to do this thing that also helps everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll take her trance.
Gotcha. Yeah. The elves don't sleep, but instead enter a trance when they need to rest. In that state, they remain aware of their surroundings while immersing themselves in memories and meditations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so anyway, so you start to rest, and this sets into motion.
I'm remembering my farm back home.
Okay, remembering your farm. How about you, Phaelin? What's Phaelin remembering as she's resting?
She is walking with her Arhitha, a Panabom, through the mountains, watching the herds.
So as you all sleep and rest, you all regain any hit dice you spent, and you lose your exhaustion levels. Hector, I think you were the only one with exhaustion levels.
Yeah.
And also, if you were injured, you regain your hit points. And at the end of your rest, you would all kind of wake up. It seems to be, to you, Valenthi, who's outside, it looks like it's been daylight for about actually close to 4 hours. So it's possibly mid-morning, maybe 10, maybe noon. You don't really know when the sun rises here. And then everyone else, you would awaken from your slumber feeling quite well rested. And then Phaelin, you would kind of notice they're stirring, but you would know if you continue for 1 more hour, you will gain a full rest.
Yeah, she'll continue resting.
Okay, very good. And at that point, what would everyone like to do? The wind is still howling and the snow is falling, and you can't really see like direct sunlight or sky. It's just light gray outside.
Upon waking, Sol is going to he's not going to say anything to anyone, but he's just going to step outside with that lantern and drop to his knees and begins saying his morning prayer, the prayer of first light, in order to reinvigorate himself. Because the first and last things that he says in the day are to Lathander.
Okay, gotcha. Very good.
Valanthi will probably do the same thing for Morthil, and upon seeing the sunlight, she'll try to look at the highest point that she can spot around here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this point is slightly higher than this point by about 5 feet.
She'll try to climb up there to the peak.
Yeah, make a little acrobatics check.
Might be icy, so we'll see.
Wait a minute, acrobatics. Is it athletics or acrobatics? It's the dexterity one.
Dexterity one is acrobatics.
Okay, then we would want to do actually athletics. We want to do the strength based one.
Oh gosh. Okay. Let me see. That's not going to be good. Let's see here. That's a negative. Okay.
Unless she has a feat or something that helps her climb with the.
I don't think she has a feat. She just has very good dexterity, but not.
Oh, yes.
Let's see.
Jumping to it.
She made a 17.
17. Oh yeah. She shimmies right on up there. Soul, you see Valenthi just scale that wall like an expert, and she gets to the top.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna try to see if I can get any advantage on trying to look over at the entire area around here.
You should roll a perception check. Now your vision is a little obstructed by the snow, but you have vision up to 20 feet in this level of snow. But she should roll with perception. She would get advantage from this vantage point, but the snow obstructs it, kind of takes it away. She would get just
nothing.
Uh-oh. Yeah, no, she's looking around. She's like, seems safe to me. No danger out there.
Yeah, she's failing her hero. She can't see nothing. Her elven eyes spot nothing.
Soul, you should roll a perception check.
Okay.
Being another person outside, just in case.
This plus. My rolls are just garbage.
Your character just, it is a.
You're too close to me.
You know what? It's a fine. There's no problem at all.
You know what it is? It's the fact that I haven't finished my prayer. That's why.
You are. That's true. You are very engaged in your prayer, which feels very good, by the way. You feel a great warmth.
Yeah.
But
Blessed
anyway,
be the morning Lord who lights awakens the world.
What would everyone else like to do? What's the next?
Hector will roll over and push Lotto's bulk off him and try and
You hear
stand
Lotto
up.
mumbles like, side of bacon, 2 sides of bacon. And then he hugs the blanket. And
The washcloth.
yeah.
So Hector will try and balance himself up, trying to remember that he now has a left leg. And so he's a little wobbly in that. Unlike most clerics, he doesn't actually pray to his god in the morning because he doesn't have a god. Just the presence of death is what Hector prays to.
Okay. You should roll a religion check as you pray to them, or are you praying to the death, or not right now?
It's sort of part of his normal mornings routine.
Valenthi, if you're patrolling the perimeter, you should roll another perception check.
Oh, okay.
So, for religion, it gets all of these 9.
Oh wow, an actual 20.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, the tide is turning.
And 23 for 23 for Hector.
Valenthi, you should halt your thing right here because at this point you actually detect something. But Hector, what did you make?
23.
As you are kind of praying, and you have your leg on, and you're kind of maybe walking around trying it a little bit, and then you hear a little voice in your mind, same one from last night, and then you hear the ground moves here. and then you hear like a chuckle.
Sorry, what was that? A ground?
The ground moves here, and then you hear like a chuckle. Now, at this point, Valenti, you were out here patrolling. Everything was seeming, relatively normal until suddenly your character hears a strange noise coming from over right in this area. And then you see the snow shake, almost like there's something underneath it. And then you hear the scraping, like the low tones of scraping against these rocks, almost like something under the snow is scraping those rocks. And it sounds loud, like a grinding sound.
I'm going to look for a rock, but a large rock, but it's as far as nature, would I be able to roll nature or anything in order to try to kind of figure out, just because she's
roll a nature check.
Let's see. Just because of her background there. So that's 25.
Is that a
That's a natural 20. So
Baller.
So that it is so unlikely that she would have known this unless she has actually seen this before. And as it so happens, I do not know how or why in her background. And maybe she didn't even remember it until this moment. Wink, wink. But she knows exactly what this is. This is a burrowing scorpion. The sound of those claws scraping against the rock and the tone that it's emitting and the way the rocks are shaking lets her know, and it's a big one.
Okay, and they're able to attack from underground without being seen, I would suppose?
A lot of times they ambush, and here's another bad thing she knows. They are pack hunters.
Okay.
It's almost never one of them.
I will immediately scream at Soul, and the girl is like, "Get inside! We're about to be attacked! Get out! Now! Get inside!" And
now the minute she starts to run, she hears this sound, like snow flies in all directions, and she sees the scorpion just lunge out of the ground. And it is large size. I gotta adjust this. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And then it just charges her, and you see its eyes come up, and you see its huge stinger come up, and you guys hear like this growling sound. And you see her come around the corner, and then this 8-foot scorpion comes just like whirling around after her. Its huge claws like snapping. Everyone roll initiative. But Valenti, you're going to get advantage on your initiative roll because you were the first one to see it.
Alrighty, let's see here.
And then when you make your initiative rolls, go ahead and add them to the initiative thing.
Okay, so that's.
Oh, I forgot how to do that. Let's see.
Click the little cross swords.
Oh, that's right.
Advantage.
One day I would like to really roll above a 10. I think that would be really fun. That'd be so cool.
I at least rolled a 10 this time, so I got a 15.
I think all of my rolls this entire session, and even a lot of last time, were under 8.
One good news: the scorpion rolled terribly.
Hector rolled a natural 20.
Oh, okay. Then you should put a 20 in there. And nat 20s when I run games go before unnatural 20 or pluses.
Oh.
And then nat ones always go last.
So how do I add this again? I'm sorry, real quick.
Oh, initiative is you make a roll, add dexterity, and then
yes.
If you have, I believe it's the alert feat, you get to add your proficiency modifier as well.
No, I just want to know how to post it in the list.
Oh, you just click on your character, or I'm sorry, you double click. Are you in there? No, you're not in there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna add you to the initiative. I'll add you.
Give me a 10 if you want to.
There we go. Now you can edit it.
Got it. Thank you.
Now, has everyone posted their initiative at this point? Oh, I got to roll for.
Well, then, since Hector's going first, I'll be right back. Something is knocking on my wall.
Uh-oh. All right, so it is Hector's turn first. Hector, you hear a scream coming from outside, and then you hear what sounds like some kind of animalistic kind of growling sound, and then you hear what sound like heavy footfalls. What are you going to do?
He's going to basically go over and look at the instruments again. He's going to go back and see if this is part of the whole setup with all the instruments and everything, and seeing if it's arcane in nature or whether it's an actual.
Now, just so you know, turning on the instrument, taking a reading would count as an action.
Absolutely.
Are you okay with that? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check and add proficiency.
Yep. So that's my Arcana. 9. 11.
So you turn it on and you kind of point it around, and then you read basically what looks like 0.00, which Hector has never seen before, and it seems unlikely that would be the reading. And in his mind, he thinks to himself, "This must be some kind of error. The device is either malfunctioning or maybe it requires adjustment."
So he'll just spend the rest of his turn playing around with that.
Would you like to make your movement, or are you going to stay there?
He's inside the cabin, so
He's just going to stay there for now.
Yep.
Okay. It will now be Valenthi's turn.
She will yell at them, keep yelling at them as she's trying to move toward them. It's like, they hunt in packs. And she's going to go to about here to make sure that she can at least turn her bow over to this scorpion.
Okay.
And
now, as she pulls out her bow, one more thought does cross her mind. And she just yelled, they hunt in packs. And then she raises her bow, and then the thought pops into her mind, unless it's a scout. If it's a scout, it might be alone.
Oh, okay.
But anyway.
So we definitely got to take that one out. And she's going to go ahead and use a bonus to put a hunter's mark on it.
Very good.
I think. Let me see. Oh, I can get my dreadful strike now. Okay. So, she's going to do hunter's mark on it.
It is marked. It doesn't save or anything. You just do it, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it just does it.
All right.
And so I'm going to go ahead and hopefully not break my bow.
Roll to hit, and then roll a 10-sider, just to make sure.
All right.
And then while you're doing that, Omen, you should also begin your turn.
That would be a 24.
Oh, 24?
To hit, and then I'll do a 10 to see if it... Oh, thank God. It doesn't break.
The 24 will hit, and you should roll.
All right. So I'm going to do the first attack is going to be that was so that's 11, and I think I do a dreadful strike, right? So once per turn when you attack a creature, weapon you can deal an extra. Okay, so that's 11 plus another 9, so that's 20. So it's 11 piercing and 9 psychic.
Gotcha. Okay. The arrow lands true, stabbing into the creature between the top and bottom of its carapace.
Oh, and then I was gonna do another D6 for the hunter's mark.
Very good. Very good.
So an extra 1.
All right.
And then, I know we talked about this, but because of the god that I worship,
yes,
it does allow me to have another attack with any kind of bow, any range.
Yes. Because of the no, totally. We did talk about it. Yes, you should go ahead and take it.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. All right, so she's gonna go ahead
Well,
and
you're outside and you see just this archer just whipping arrows through the bow, like very, very quickly, very, very proficiently firing arrows.
so that's a 19 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. So that is a 9, and this time it's only the hunter's mark. 9 with a 4, so that's 13 more damage. And then I roll a d10.
Heck yeah.
Come on, Mr. D10. Be nice.
So you hit and
There we go.
the arrow once again sinks into the meaty, fleshy part of the scorpion beneath its upper carapace.
And that, I think I will make sure that these people are going to be able to move away safely since I'm kind of getting its attention. I will look back and see what they're doing, if they're running into the cabin or not.
Okay, so you look back and you realize they haven't quite reacted yet. Wink, wink. They're not in initiative order yet.
Yes, yeah, that'll be my turn.
Okay. It is then Omen's turn.
So he has the one spike, and there were 6 of them. If there's another one laying on the ground in the cabin, he'll scoop that up.
Okay. Yes.
I don't think a couple people took them, but I think there might be another one still around. So, and then he will run out 5, 10, 15, and he'll throw one at the scorpion.
Roll to hit.
Thank you.
He sees this huge scorpion climbing over the rocks, its huge feet just like scraping against the black stone. Sounds like metal scraping against rock.
A 11.
So you throw it, and the stake whistles through the air, and it bounces off of the carapace of the creature, failing to find its mark.
I will then go ahead.
No, it just hisses and snaps its claws.
Okay. 5, 10, 15. He moves here, and that'll be the end of his turn.
All right, very good. It is Luna's turn. Luna's gonna run. She runs aside, and then she runs in and she says, "There's a giant scorpion out there," and she backs over into this corner, and looks very afraid. And that's what Luna's doing right now. And it is Phalene's turn.
Yeah, I assume Faline didn't get to finish her trance.
Unfortunately, she was about 40 minutes shy of her long rest.
Oh,
Her eyes will kind of flutter open, and she's just like, "What is happening?" And she will go outside because she's got to save people.
Through the thick snowfall, she sees the large form of what looks like an 8 to 10-ish foot scorpion climbing over the rocks, chasing the Lengthy.
Okay, she will use a sorcerer point to do subtle spell, so she doesn't have to use any components or verbal or somatics.
Very good, very good.
And she will cast command with the halt.
Oh, okay, very good. I believe that's a wisdom save. But...
It is a wisdom save, DC of 12.
All right, so this is going to be flat. There are no bonuses. Oh, so she says halt, and suddenly the creature stops its advance, and its legs just kind of shake as it stands in place. The command seems to have taken effect.
Sweet.
All right, now you can go ahead and continue with your.
And then I'll take the rest of my movement to just sort of back up to there, and that's my turn.
You guys can see the creature just like kind of shaking a little bit, and its claws are kind of like twitching, almost as if it's trying to work through its thoughts. It seems to be confused, not moving forward. It is now. Is that the end of your turn, Faline?
Yes, sorry, that is the end of my turn.
Then suddenly you hear a loud shout say, "Scorpion!" And then Lotto comes barreling out the front door. 5, 10, 20, 25, 30. He can only make it to here, but he gets down into like a deep stance and he pounds his fists together, and he looks at the creature. But unfortunately, he cannot do anything else at this time. It is now Soul's turn.
What was the command that Phaline put on this?
So she casts the command spell, which basically gives her the ability to command it to do one of 6.
The halt command.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, so it can't. It is basically stopped. It's.
Yeah. So what it's doing is, on its turn, the creature doesn't move. So on its turn, it will not be able to move, and it'll take no action or bonus action. And basically, it'll end on Phaline's next turn.
I'm just curious if there would be a penalty against it against a dexterity saving throw.
A penalty against a dex saving throw. I would say yes.
Okay, cool. Then Lathander, Soul will step forward and he will hold the lantern that he spent the night with and hold it up as he steps up to this thing. And I'm going to channel divinity and shout, "The dawn does not come gently, burn in its radiance." I want to make sure that I am far enough away from Omen because I know where he is, and I want to use my solar flare ability.
Okay.
Which is a 20-foot sphere.
Oh, okay.
So I want to be behind him.
Gotcha. Okay.
On the far side, and I'm also doing this so that everyone who is outside can be in full view of my glorious radiance.
Gotcha. Okay. I think he should take one more step catty corner away from Omen. Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
That should do it. All right. Very good.
Yeah. So he needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
All right. So he's going to make it a disadvantage because he is confused and frozen in place. Uh-oh.
Beautiful.
Well, it's gonna fail. He gets. Yeah, it is a fail.
All right, so that is going to be 6d6 radiant damage. That is not a lot right there. That is 13.
Describe what it looks like. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I was just to say, creatures that fail their save are also lit on fire, for what it is worth. So Soul basically walks up to this, holding the lantern outstretched in front of him, and says, "With the rising of the sun, I will rise as well. By the morning Lord's decree, let the wicked be seared from this world, as the dawn does not come gently, burn in its radiance." And then from the lantern, the flame that is in there is going to grow exponentially as a radiant light is going to become visible behind Soul, and it is going to envelop this area around him. And as the light begins to burn the surrounding area, you will eventually start to see it creep back towards him, towards the lantern, and then the scorpion will be on fire.
Gotcha. Omen, you see this fire come right up to you, and then it recedes. It was very close. He felt the heat.
Beautiful. Yeah. And just as a reminder, the creature on its turn takes 1d10 fire damage unless it or another creature uses an action to douse the flames.
Okay, gotcha. Very good. Do you have any other actions or movement to take?
That is going to be it.
All right. It is now the scorpion's turn. So the scorpion on its turn, it kind of shakes. Its eyes kind of seem to gain back their focus. It snaps its claws a bit, but it had to use its turn, it seems, to straighten out its thoughts. And it does take a d10 of fire damage. And that is going to be all that it can do on its... Wait a minute, I think so. Let me double check. I don't think it can... Yeah, that's going to be all it can do on its turn. It is now Hector's turn. It takes 4 damage. It's looking pretty rough.
Not seeing anything on the instruments, Hector will wander outside to see why this little two-colored-eyed girl has wandered back inside.
She's like, watch out, there's a scorpion out there.
Scorpions aren't much back in the Ebon.
Okay.
So he just wanders out and goes, is that all it is? And he will just use his, let's see, how far is he? He'll be within 30 feet.
Yeah, he's within 30 feet.
Yep. So he will just go, why don't you just take a break and cast Sapping Sting. It's a Constitution save of 14.
Okay.
You sap the vitality of one creature you can see in range. The target must succeed on a con save or take 1d4 necrotic damage and fall prone.
So it makes a 15 on its con save. Does that save against it?
Yeah.
Okay. It seems that con is its good save. But does anything happen to it when it makes the save? Does it still get an effect of any kind?
No, that's what I was just reading.
So Hector casts the spell, and he feels the magic go out, and then he sees the creature kind of shake a little bit, and it growls and snaps its claws, and Hector's maybe a little surprised, like, oh, it didn't take that.
Just quickly check. And nope, that's it. That's all they can do.
All right. It is then going to be Valenti's turn.
All right. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and do my last 2 arrows. And I aim my 2 arrows at him, or one of them at first. And let's see what happens. So that will be a... Let me see. Last time, did I roll on the owlbear, or did I roll off of the sheet?
Oh, I'm not totally sure. I think you rolled... I don't actually know.
I think you rolled on Owlbear.
Whatever you did, it did show up on Owlbear.
Okay, so I must have been rolling in here then. Okay, so... 7, so first attack. First arrow I send over. 22 to hit.
That will hit.
She's going to go ahead and use her Dreadful Strike one more time with her Hunter's Mark. And that one, so that's...
Now, when that arrow sinks in, you can calculate the damage, but actually, even if it does a very small amount of damage, I think there's no way this will not happen. Yeah. The arrow sinks in. Wait, what was that? 28? Oh, no, that'll be plenty. Okay. The creature shrieks, and then you see its huge, legs, they kind of tremble, and then they give out, and the creature falls into the snow. The snow kind of poofs out from underneath it, and then the creature groans a little bit and reaches forward with one claw, and then its stinger just falls to the side, and the creature lays motionless.
And Valencio say, possibly a scout. There may be more out there.
All right.
Hector says,
we are out of combat now, so you guys can move whenever you'd like.
She will immediately go and grab hopefully whatever survives of her arrows from the fire. And
okay, so you should roll. So there were 3 arrows total. So you should roll. You should roll a percentile to see how many you can retrieve.
A percentile? Okay. Ooh, God, that was close. That was almost a 1. All right, so she's definitely going to use the chitin from the eventually later down the road to increase her bow. So percentage, you said?
Yes.
So 17%?
Uh-oh. unfortunately, 2 of the arrows were damaged and unusable. 1 arrow is recovered, still intact.
She sheds a tear. No, just kidding. No, see, she'll put one of the arrows. At least has 2. She'll have to work on them. But other than that, yeah, she'll just aside from whatever anybody else is doing right now, she's going to immediately see what she can get for material while everybody's doing whatever.
So when I run up, I'm going to say, quickly, drag the body towards the door. And I grab one of the claws and start trying to pull it towards the door to get it whatever blood it has or whatever, just get it away from this area where it erupted out of, so that maybe we can investigate a hole or something.
Lotto grabs a hold of it and starts pulling it, almost like you would pull a weighted sled, and seems to heave
help
quite
with
a bit
that.
of it. Oh, okay. So you guys roll just a quick strength check. Everyone who's contributing to that, but
Hector looks at the group
yeah.
and raises his free hand, his right hand, and you see inky black nails extend from the end of his hand. And he slices down and cuts off both pincers.
Oh, okay. It suddenly gets much lighter.
That works.
The pincers fall off as he slices through them. When he does so, this dark, kind of blackish blood just kind of spurts out of the stumps of the creature.
And Hector goes, breakfast.
Lotto just quickly says, yes. Oh,
And then I tell the Hector character, because again I don't know his name, remove the tail.
And Hector just swings his arm and off pops the tail.
Slices through. The tail falls to the ground.
We will use that tail for many things.
Poison arrows.
You do see that there seems to be a bit of clear liquid dripping slightly from the end of the stinger. It seemed that it was primed with some kind of fluid coming from inside the creature.
At any rate, so then I'll go back over once I know that the body is closer to the door and they're starting to salvage parts or do whatever. I think my character's underneath the big scorpion token, but I'm gonna move over to where it erupted out of the snow and begin an investigation.
You guys see Luna kneel down, and she dips 2 of her fingers into one of the stumps that Hector cut off of, and she gets some blood, and she kind of reaches up and smells it, and then you kind of see her wrinkle her nose, and then she's going to say, this might be a little bit useful. Maybe we should save some of it. I may be able to create us something to heal from this.
Excellent.
She says, does anyone have a container that I can use?
Weren't there some with that equipment that we found in the crate?
Yeah, I saw
She's gonna
some
run inside.
bottles and vials inside. Looks like an old alchemist.
She runs inside, and then she's just doing her thing. But anyway, what would you guys like to do?
I will help them get this inside, and then I kind of want to investigate where this thing came from.
Right.
So, if you go over there, roll an investigation.
Ooh.
Oh, you can't see. Oh, is your character off screen? What happened?
I think it's underneath the token or
I
something.
put him.
I don't know what happened. Oh, there he is. All right, there we go. Thank you.
He was
I'm gonna make
under
it
the
a
body.
Moved him over.
Next show.
He got squished as they were pulling him.
Right?
Yeah, we dragged it over Omen's body. Where is
Lava
Omen?
was pulling so enthusiastically that it just went right over.
I got a 24 investigation.
I got a 16.
So as you guys look, you see that there is indeed like there's snow kind of in it, but you kind of look down and you see that there's actually quite a hole in the snow, but it goes down into the ground, but you see that it kind of ends at these rocks, and then you see a bunch of like claw marks on the rocks. You would have to dig quite a bit to dig the snow out of like the quote unquote tunnel, but it did seem that it stopped tunneling where the rocks started.
Hmm.
What do you make of this, Soul? Or what do you make of this, my friend?
I am not sure. I'm unfamiliar with such creatures, but I presume it has burrowed its way here, obviously. But where this goes, I cannot say. If only we had some way of digging through or moving through this burrow.
Wait, can I go into the hole?
Yeah. If you step into it, like it's just like kind of like loose snow obstructing the entrance, and you kind of sink down to waist deep.
What
I will
would
do that.
Delancey know?
So she rolled a nat 20 before on her nature check. She knows that these things, they would have a hard time tunneling through solid rock like this black rock. They can do it, but they tend not to do it when they're like hunting or scouting. They only tend to do it when they're digging lairs. So like the fact that it like you don't see any rock tunneling right here would indicate that there's probably not a lair close by, but she would know if they found that there were rock tunnels kind of close by, they're probably very close to a lair. So that would be like what she would know.
I would explain this for the sake of RP. I just repeat that to everybody.
Okay. Now, as you guys are talking about this, Lotto comes over to you, Hector, and he seems very interested in the claws, and he's like, it could be like cooking a lobster, maybe. That's how I would prepare it. He seems really interested in breakfast.
Absolutely.
He's like, if only we had a few cups of butter, this would be even better.
Oh, butter. Great.
Suddenly we're now playing delicious
Dill, bit of garlic, bit of dill.
Yes. Maybe some lemon.
Lemon. Oh, I miss lemon.
He turns to you, Phelan, and he's like, you don't happen to have lemon with you? Or even pepper?
Yes, let me just pull that out. No, I do not have a lemon.
He looks a little disappointed.
But that does she softens a little bit. She's like, but that does sound delicious. We still need to get you clothes.
Yes. Kind of looks down at himself. A little covered with blood because he was dragging the creature. But anyway,
She's like, all right.
What are you gonna do while this is going?
She sees that everybody seems very interested in the scorpion. She's kind of like, whatever. She's tired. If I know I didn't declare this, but is there any way? And I know this would be very generous of you. She could have taken at least a short rest in that time.
Oh no, for sure. No, she would have totally got.
Okay.
Hi.
Great. Can I then? Yeah, I'm gonna go back to sewing because I'm still doing the math of there are at least 2 other people that need clothing. So she'll go back inside and resume her sewing.
You guys see Luna come out with the alchemist kit, and she sets it down and opens it, and she rifles around for an empty bottle, and then she starts just like trying to squeeze the blood from the stumps of the arms into the vial and fill it up. And then she looks up at Valenthi, I think, who mentioned didn't you, Valenthi, mention something about poison arrows?
Yes.
So this is interesting. Luna seemed to have really heard you, and she actually takes another vial out of the kit and holds it out to you. And she says, here, for the stinger poison. You mentioned poison arrows.
Valanthi looks at her confused, and then she's like, hey, thank you. I appreciate that.
And is Valenthi going to take the bottle?
Yes.
When she goes to touch it, she realizes Luna doesn't quite let go of it yet. And then Luna would say, thank you. I trust you now. I don't believe you would have helped kill this creature if you intended for us to die here.
And she just nods at her, not quite sure how to react in a sense.
And then Luna would just release the vial to her.
And then Valenti's just gonna she's definitely gonna like search out the limbs, because she intends to hopefully try to get a dagger out of the jagged edges of the end tips, and then also because they can be curvy for the chitin.
Yeah,
she would try to see if she can reinforce her bow if possible.
Oh yeah, she could surely scavenge parts from the creature to reinforce her bow, no doubt. From many parts. This is a large creature with actually a lot of material on it. There's also, I mean, anyone with any kind of smithing or armor building skill would also know the implications of possibly using its carapace for either shields or maybe even armor if someone were to put the time and energy into it.
Yeah. So as far as whatever everybody's doing, she does that, and then whatever material she gets, she will pop a berry into her mouth, and then she will climb back to her usual spot up here and begin working on that.
Very good, very good. Working on the bow part, you mean?
Yeah, because that's
Gotcha.
her main concern, just to at least reinforce that, and then after she reinforces it, she'll work on arrows again.
So she should roll a go ahead and roll the crafting check now. It'll take a little while, but go ahead and roll the crafting check. Now, while that's happening, Soul and Omen, you guys were investigating this hole. What would you like to do next? So, Omen, you realize that you could maybe burrow down into the snow. It's very loose snow down there.
Right, and I jumped into the hole.
Yeah.
So what I'm just trying to
reach
sorry, go ahead.
You kind of sink down in there, but you don't reach a solid bottom. You just kind of sink down to your waist in the snow.
Well, so I'm going to bend over and try to see if I can determine what direction if there's an actual where it moved from and to where it erupted from. I'm just investigating the area to see if there's. You already explained that there wasn't any kind of like real true tunnel, so I'm just gonna try to investigate the area to see if I can see if there's anything of value whatsoever in this pathway that it carved.
As you look down here, you would see that there's snow is disturbed kind of over to here, but then you see that there's rock here, and there's kind of like snow down here, but that's where the disturbance stops. So in Omen's mind, this is maybe an area that could tell him whether it was rock burrowing or whether it was totally snow and dirt burrowing.
So I'm going to relay that information to Soul.
Okay.
That it appears that the burrow or the trail leads 15 feet or so in the southwesterly direction. I don't know if we want to continue our investigation any closer to that, or we should make a retreat and regroup and rethink.
I think it'll be good to let the others know what it is we found. There is no sense in us going off on our own without letting them know the situation.
Very good. So then I will come out of the snow and begin to walk back towards the body. And as I see the Luna character messing with the alchemy kit and filling it with blood or whatever, I'll say, I have proficiency in those types of tools. Please be gentle.
She like kind of looks up at you a little surprised, and then she kind of rattles around in the box, and you kind of see her reach down in there and rattle around with sort of a knowing hand. Makes you think she kind of knows her way around an alchemy kit, and she pulls out an empty vial and hands it to your character, and she was like, would you like to help? If you are experienced, the more of this we collect, the better. I think I can make something out of it.
Absolutely. I will investigate the scorpion slightly and try to determine where its heart and kidneys and other vital organs may be.
Ah, okay. Here. While you're doing, so you should roll actually a medicine check for that.
Absolutely.
Now, while that's happening, you guys see the big guy kind of go back here, and then he comes over and he's got an armload of wood, and he's like, I have some bad news. This is the last of the firewood, and we have enough if we go very easy to last us maybe the end of the day. He says, if we go incredibly easy and only build a fire inside, perhaps the day and night.
Well, inside it is.
Oh, then it may be advantageous for some of us to take a trek, go in search of some kind of fuel source.
Dismantle the rest of the crate.
You realize you could get another full day and night out of the crate, actually, if you did that.
And I didn't successfully. I rolled a 7 on my medicine check. So.
Oh, okay. So you would start to kind of dig around in it a little bit. You see that it has a very thick exoskeleton, but then as you start to dig into it, you're kind of just like, "What the heck is all this? I don't even know what I'm grabbing here." And your character feels a bit lost digging into the character. But there's a lot.
I will just continue to fill up the vial full of blood until I find some sort of big, thick, gooey thing inside to pull out that could be perhaps consumed or used as a material of some sort.
So
whether it's a heart or a lung or a kidney or a liver, I don't know.
As you're doing this, you see Luna, and she's by you, and you kind of see her look around because she's like right next to you. You guys are like working side by side. She kind of looks around, see if anyone's watching, and then she lifts a bit of the blood, like that's on her fingers, up to her mouth and like licks it. And then you see her eyes, like she kind of closes her eyes and then she opens them, and you see the slightly like her pupils go a little dark. And then she reaches out to you, and then she kind of asks, "May I help?"
So when I observe her a little closer, I'm an Aasimar. Do I discern that what her lineage is?
Actually, she looks to you like an Aasimar, but there's something weird about her. She has different colored eyes. You know, Aasimar are usually known for their just like very notable, stark, humans would call it perfect skeletal structure and like facial structure. I mean, humans would describe most Aasimar they see as the most elite of supermodels, and just
Thank you.
Yeah. but you see that while she does kind of show that, you notice that her off-colored eye is very strange, and it makes you think she's probably not all Aasimar. There's something else in there.
Great.
But
And
she does not have curved ears. Like her ears look like Aasimar or human ears.
So I say, any assistance you can give. I'm trying to find some vital organs that may provide either excellent sustenance and or something that we may be able to use in some fashion that I would need some time to study to determine if I could create something from those vital pieces.
So she would close her eyes and kind of touch your character, and then your character is good aligned, right? Was I right?
Well, he's neutral. I mean,
neutral. Okay.
Neutral with good tendencies.
Okay. So he would feel her touch him, and two things happen. He feels like a weird pit form in his stomach, almost like what you would feel if you felt intensely guilty about something. And then it kind of passes, and then you realize she has cast a form of guidance on you, and you can add 4 to your next medicine check, and you can try your medicine check again.
Very well.
You seem unusually sharp about
it. +4 +1, that would be 18.
Suddenly, as you're digging through the scorpion's body, it's weird. It's almost like the knowledge shows itself to you, and you start recognizing what the body parts are. And you find actually many things. You see that there's a persoma, which houses the eyes, the mouth parts, etc. There's a nervous system. There's a brain center. There's a venom guidance organ. which is located near the tail. There's a circulatory system that you locate. You locate the lungs. You locate like all the different mouth parts, the hind gut and the waist system. There is a rock-like gizzard in its foregut. So you see, like, you're pulling out all these things.
So I will use whatever parts of the outer shell to try to make various types of plates, if you will, to place these different items on those pieces.
She runs back inside real quick, and she runs into you, Faylene, and she asks, "Can I take one of these?" She kind of points at the canvas from the tent.
She goes, yes, you can take.
She like whips it up and comes running out, and she comes out here and like falls down, and she like throws it on the ground as if, and then she says, "Let's put the organs on this. We need to preserve it all."
Absolutely.
She seems
I
really
agree.
She seems really intensely interested in the insides of this creature. Now, while you two are doing that, what would the rest of you like to be doing? We're coming up on the end of the sessions, kind of the closing scenes.
Hector's just going to go back inside. He said, "Let's put all the wood inside. Let's not waste it out here."
You see the big dude kind of come over by Faylene and start a fire. Or stoke the fire, I should say.
And then Valanthi would walk over to Sol as she's trying to work on her bow. She did roll an 11.
So yeah, it would have been successful to reinforce the bow.
Excellent. And she'll like looking at her new reinforced bow, she'll look over at Sol and say, "I do believe we should eventually venture further from here. We cannot stay here forever. I had read about possibly other people in sleds. I suspect I'm not familiar with these kind of territories of the cold. But we can't stay here forever. Once we gather weapons or armor from this chitin, we should venture forward."
I agree. That crate that we found everything in was exceptionally heavy. Where it came from, if somebody moved it here via cart or carried it, cannot be that far away.
That's actually a very good, astute observation. And Valenthi, you would instantly realize it was also full of sensitive equipment, which, if carted very long, would have shaken apart. But anyway.
So my assumption is that there is somewhere nearby that was able to provide either the equipment that was there or a way station, a checkpoint of some kind for where we are. I want to check out those journals that we found this evening, today, see if there's any information in there that might guide us towards which direction to go. It is best not that we wander the opposite way that we need, but I agree. We will need to start making some forward progress.
She says, "Well then, you shall have my bow." And she'll say, "Once I'm finished grading enough arrows, I can use whatever abilities I have, knowledge of nature, in order to guide us the best that I can. But I think that you are correct. Somewhere there are some other people of sorts."
Yes, and once we are able to dissect this scorpion, we will be able to utilize some of its components to better gear ourselves while we are out there. Might make for something that we can do in the meantime while I scour those books for information.
Now, as this is going on, I want everyone to roll me a perception check real quick, and we're getting ready to wrap this up. But Hector and Faylene, inside the cabin, Faylene, you're sewing. Hector, you are, I think you're doing stuff with the claw, if I'm not mistaken. Or what were you doing, Hector?
Waiting to eat, basically.
Oh, gotcha. Suddenly, Hector and Faline, you could both hear a light, like from inside the cabin. You hear a little whoosh, like the sound of air whooshing, and then something falls out of midair onto the middle of the floor.
Oh my!
It just like appears out of nowhere, and then I'm dropping what it looks like a leather-bound book, and it falls right in the middle of the floor. And I've just dropped the link to the PDF of what it is in the chat. But is one of you going to pick it up and look at it?
Absolutely.
When you pick it up, you kind of look at the front, and right on the front, bound in pale blue leather with silver corner guards engraved with snowflake-like runes. The pages are waxed vellum to resist moisture and cold, each bearing subtle wind-blown motifs above the margins. It's got a lock and clasp on the front, but it says right across the front, Spellbook of Benjamin Dodden.
Excellent.
Feline will ask you, what is it? What does it say?
Hector will look up and go, yeah, it's a spellbook. Wizard spellbook. You a wizard?
No. What's a
No.
wizard?
And then he'll just put it away. He'll just sort of hide it into his cloak.
Okay.
Right? Yep.
Now, what did everyone make for those perception checks?
15.
24.
Oh, wow. Oh, man, Faline's inside.
Oh, never mind.
No, that's good. It's still maybe useful, but it would have been better if you were outside. But anyway, continue. What else did everyone get?
I got a 14.
14? Okay.
I apologize. I did not roll that. Give me 1 second.
I got a 17.
17? Okay.
Nope, 6.
So we're going to close out the session here. Faline, though, as you're sewing, you get a strange feeling. You get this weird feeling, and it almost causes you to look up from sewing. You think to yourself, we're not alone. Something's watching me. Like you almost feel like some kind of eyes on you. And unbeknownst to all of you, no one sees this, but out of game, I'm going to show you something. Many, many feet away, almost too far away that anyone could even see through the snow, a figure lurks, watching people chop up a scorpion in the front. I've got to give me just a moment. I got to bring it in here, bring the picture in.
Oh, nice.
Where is it? I got to get used here we go. Here's what the picture looks like.
Oh, hell yeah. That's sick.
And it's almost, none of you see it, but Faline, you just think to yourself, something's watching us. And then, sure enough, many, many feet out, which shouldn't be too far to see in the snow, your characters don't know, but you as players know, as a little bit of a premonition, something is out there watching the camp, and it looks like this.
Oh,
That's awesome.
yes.
And that is where we are going to end the session.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for playing. Thank you for watching. I appreciate everyone. I'm going to hit end stream. Feel free to stay in the chat for a minute if you want to chat. For those of you watching for the outside, we're going to hit the outro. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode, and we will see you next week.